What is going on, people? We have a lot to talk about today. It's a lot. I've been missing, but not because I've been partying, not because I've been out having fun, not because I've been slacking. I've been missing because I've been working mostly. Kai, on the other hand, who is here also, he's been having fun. Today, we have to talk about all of the red flags. There are so many red flags. Whew. After consulting with many of you guys and seeing some of the things people do when they come here and the risks that they take, I get really scared about this content, which really, I wasn't really even aware because my numbers aren't that crazy, but I've been to many real estate events. I've been around a lot of the industry here lately, and the impact is quite big. I don't know if people that were already buying are just watching or if more people are coming and buying from the content. But either way, the things people are doing are very risky, and we have to talk about all of these things. Also, when I make a 30-minute video about an overview of a property, I can't cover everything. And also, I don't go to battle with the developer or their salespeople when I'm there. So if you noticed, I've been making a second video about my opinion, and most of those are in members only. Part of the reason they're in members only, honestly, is because there's developers now that run away from me, and there's developers that want me to come to their projects. No, this is live. This is live, Rich's Method. Wow, we got a member within 3 minutes. Oh my God, oh, my soundboard. I'm missing my soundboard here. I'm not in studio, obviously. I'm in Kenya. Welcome, Gil Sotom. I can't do names. I'm sorry. What's going on, man? Thank you. The membership's been popping, actually. I bumped into a format that I think works because of the issues. You know, I never thought this would happen. All right, let me introduce myself. For those of you guys that don't know me, I don't know how they would find this live if they didn't already know me. It's mostly people that know me. Anyway, my name is Ryan Fagan. I am from the United States, New Jersey, Philadelphia area. I've been in real estate pretty much my whole adult life. Bought my first investment property in 2010 while I was still in the military. I have a bachelor's in business administration with a focus in real estate. I've worked in so many different aspects of the real estate industry. I've worked in commercial appraisals during the foreclosure crisis. I worked in property preservation and logistics between the agents and the banks that were foreclosing to maintain the Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac properties in the Northeast, all the way down to Virginia. We were responsible for. I've been a real estate analyst for a commercial real estate firm. I'm a real estate investor. I've flipped close to a dozen houses. I've done some BRRRR where you buy the property, renovate it, refinance, put a renter in, and keep the property. And I own a real estate brokerage. If you're an English speaker, you would read this Arti, but it's Swahili, it's Arthi. And my accent's probably not even good with the Swahili, but it means land. And we've been a real estate brokerage for 3 years now. I'm a licensed real estate broker. I was a salesperson for over 13 years. We have 7 agents at our company, which I'm not quite quitting, guys, if you're watching. That's why I have to come back and forth to Kenya, because I still have my real estate brokerage there. We help people buy and sell homes. We also do property management. Since COVID, we haven't done too much investing, but that's how I ended up in Kenya to some degree. And so I ended up in 2024 coming to Kenya. There's a whole long story. There's a bunch of interviews. I just did some with Traverse Culture. I'll let you guys go watch that content and find the older content when I talk about my whole story. But I found myself here. I didn't plan to do any of this YouTube stuff. I just posted a video because I do real estate, and part of the reason I came to Kenya was to check out the real estate, but really it was for quality of life. And I ended up buying one property, and now I'm in my second property, and I have 2 more booked, and now I'm looking at land. I want to build a ranch. I want to do kind of like what Khalees is doing, but definitely not to the scale, because she's got so many acres, and probably not in that area. So that is my background. That's where I'm coming from. That's my expertise. I do this real estate stuff. I'm not saying I'm lighting the world on fire or some amazing person. I'm kind of just a regular guy, but my profession is real estate, and that's where I'm coming from. Rich's Method. Yeah, it's live. I said it many times. Ryan can't understand how many people are buying sight unseen. And they ask me after they buy and never even touch down or visit it. Yes. Oh my God. Buying sight unseen. I'm going to get into the red flags. There's so many things to talk about. Also, as a side note here, interested, I did a property preservation trash out stuff. Yeah, man, it was a lot of money how much they were paying. I worked for one of the companies that paid the contractors, and then I'd have to call the contractors and make sure they came and clean the property, and then I would have to work with the agent. The agent would complain. I did all that stuff. That's when I made a lot of my money, though, because I was buying properties at that time. Anyway, announcement. I'm not ready to make the big public announcement, but on this live, what should we set the hurdle to if we get to that? I'll make the announcement. Should it be should it be live viewers? Well, really, I want to make a super chats, but $100 seems cheap for me to make this big announcement, because I've been working since I've been here. I know I haven't been on the lives. I'm behind. I've done so many property tours. There's like 6 videos I got to edit. I would love to find an editor, but they got to be good. And they got to show exactly what we need to show. And these videos are very long, and I try to make them as short as possible, but it's also important to leave a lot of good information in there. It's really challenging from the editing perspective, so I haven't figured that out. I have lots of things going on. Anyway, the announcement is a really big deal. I never planned on doing any of this. I wasn't planning on doing anything. I've been dropping teasers. If you guys know me, you probably can read between the lines what it is. I'm super excited. I'm just trying to roll it out the right way, because I'm thinking that a lot of you guys are probably going to want to work with us. And so I don't want to prematurely announce something and then not be ready, because we're still working on some things. At the same time, we got to get the team trained up, and we got to do some trial runs with some of you guys and work out the kinks. So I do want to do like a soft launch. Maybe I'll definitely do a soft launch on the live at some point. You know what? If we get $150 in super chats today, I'll announce everything about it, just to you guys. And we'll bury it in the live. I'm sure it'll happen later because people aren't watching the 3-hour live, I don't think. So if we can do $150 in the super chat, I'll drop it. That's super cheap. It's crazy, but whatever. I think that's where we're going to go with it. Elite Sanctuary Realtors. This is Oscar. He's a realtor here. Very, very knowledgeable and with a lot of integrity with clients, which is part of the red flags that we're going to be talking about. Not Oscar, but I'm just saying there's a lot of red flags and how business works here. People come here very naively and don't understand what's going on. I was a contractor mostly on the bank inspections. Oh, that's good. I had a few employees, field inspections. Oh, cleanouts and all that were pretty good, but sometimes you would get stuck with a bad one and you could lose money doing it. Where should we begin today? Oh my goodness. All right, let's start with something easy. In my videos, you see that I'm talking to the salespeople. And in all the new videos, you will see me ask them what is being built around the site. Because when you're at these sales offices, they're not usually at the site because it's a construction site. And there's not a lot of space for that. And it's hard to get around, like, if you're visiting, you're just going to Uber to the construction site and walk around. You probably aren't going to do that. And so understanding what's around the building is really important. Everyone is going to convince you that every direction is safe. And if you're watching the videos, I'm like, oh, okay. Just because I'm saying, oh, okay, doesn't mean that I'm taking what they're saying as gospel. And I think generally that's something that people need to understand is when you're talking to salespeople, they're selling you something. Now, different people are believable in different amounts to this topic. And it really applies to every topic. Because it's a bit subjective if, the lot next door is going to be purchased and developed and then block the view of whatever unit you're purchasing, right? What I would say is to not even trust but verify, acknowledge what they're saying, but then go do your own due diligence and verify. And when I mean do your own due diligence, this is a problem. Depending on the team that you're working with, the agents, whoever you're dealing with, are they really going to tell you bad news where you end up not buying? And we're going to get into some of the reasons why, because you would think, see, in the US, when you have a real estate agent, they can sell every property. It's not like that in Kenya. So they may only be able to sell you that project that they're showing you. So that could cause a conflict. But we'll talk about agents and conflicts and all that in a little bit. I still want to stay on the topic of what's being developed around the building. They're going to say, oh, this property has 8 different owners, so it's going to be really hard to purchase. Well, in Nairobi, developers are buying this stuff with 200 million shillings, 300 million shillings. That's a lot of money. And so you could convince people to sell their properties. So this is why you need a good team. But the red flag is building your own team. You guys don't know how to build your own team, to be honest. I've been involved in real estate here for the last 2 years. I'm not saying I'm an expert, but I have a real estate background. And mostly what I do is real estate stuff here. And I go to the events. I talk to a bunch of agents. I do know what's going on. And I promise you guys don't know all the nuances there. So it's going to be hard for you to read between the lines. So if you don't have a team, you should definitely look around the development site and see, to me, it's obvious, but to you, it may not be. If the buildings around it are not really nice looking and developed, they're open to being purchased and blocking your view on that side. If you guys notice, one thing, when you watch my videos, I always show the availability charts if they have them available. And you will see there's always a pattern that people are buying the street side, because then you won't get blocked, or at least there's enough space if they build a property across the street, or another side where there's already something well developed, or if it's on a corner or something like that. Those units go first. The smaller units usually will go fast, although now we're seeing some of the 2 and 3 beds selling depending on what the pricing is. I've been feeling like the smaller units prices have been going up faster than the 2 and 3 bed unit prices, which is interesting because I don't feel like it was like that before. But if there's like some small villas or even a mid-rise apartment building or something like that, that's 4 or 5 stories, those things are all subject to getting developed. And so you need to go and look at everything around that building, because again, you'll see that the other savvy buyers, that the crowd is usually right. So when you go to these developments, like I was saying, the availability, all the best units get booked right away. So if you see big openings of availability, it's very likely that those areas, they feel less confident that something's going to get developed. Meaning, when I say less confident, I'm saying that they think something in the future may develop there. For example, where I purchased at, right here, this place, I bought an inside unit that still gives me a nice view, because there were building approvals on the other side of this construction. And now there's construction going on over there. I saw the building approvals and I was advised that something was getting built there. Now, on the other side of this building is some vacant stuff, and I'm assuming that eventually someone will buy it and start building because it's like abandoned. So that's the first thing. That's the easy one. Pay attention to the site, and also don't listen to anybody. You got to go look at it. All right, we have a question. ALX, could you please inform us on whether the ROI projections from Nairobi realtors are real? What's the occupancy like? Is it true that 1 bedrooms can fetch 100K and 2 beds can fetch 120K? I'm going to assume you're saying Kenyan shillings. Generally, don't listen to anybody about ROI. Okay. Unfurnished rental is easy to know. Kilimani, Lavington, Kilauea, 1 bedroom, 60 to 70,000 all day, unfurnished. When you start getting into furnished rentals, Airbnb, anyone, like, how do they know the numbers? Now, I did have a good friend that actually just purchased here and has been doing an Airbnb for a month, and they actually showed me what they did in their first month, and they had 100% occupancy in Westlands at probably a little bit under market value for what they were renting it for, but they were trying to get their ratings up. 100K for a 1 bedroom apartment, that's $700 a month, $800 a month about. For Airbnb, I don't think it's a sustainable return on investment personally. But those are that is kind of in the range. Usually the Airbnb rate is going to be a little bit more than double what you would get unfurnished long-term rental generally, I think. But guys, the internet's tough, right? Because how can I say this? Everyone wants to like declare something assertively, like this is what it is. How do they know? Right? So unless you have a whole bunch of rentals and data on your own to be able to say, I'm very skeptical of the information. But if you have to make a decision, I think you look at the Airbnb app, you look at what things are listed for. You got to really go in there and study. Now, the problem is you don't know the vacancy rate. But these numbers that you're quoting, 100K for a one bedroom, if you put that in Westlands, Airbnb, it can gross that probably, yes. And a two bedroom can probably gross that, yeah. They do. I think they are not telling the truth. So let's talk about that a little bit. Unless they own property, sometimes, I mean, again, this is bad for YouTube, but again, it's nuance to things, right? So if these numbers are true, they will want to believe them. And if people tell them that and it becomes a thing that people say, they're going to keep saying it. And it's not, it's within some of the numbers that people talk about generally are actually within the range that I think is reasonable. Sometimes it's a little stretched. So are they outright lying to you? Generally, I don't think so, actually. I think if you watch my videos very carefully, if I ever ask them a question that could put a project in, be like a downside, they try to go around the question. And that's a general training and mentality here, where at least my style, like if I'm selling something, or let's call it real estate. So when if I'm helping someone buy or sell a property, I really don't care which property they buy or sell. My job is to help make sure they have a good experience, they're protected, they're advised properly. I want to give them the proper information, but I don't really want to influence what they're purchasing. I want you to, I think people are adults. Here's the information. Here's my perspective on the location, what I think might rent better, what, you know, in my opinion. But I don't really have that much of an opinion if you buy one property versus another. And this will get into the agent dynamics with commissions and things like that. But here, like when you go to a developer, they can only sell the thing that they have. So it's more like a cars dealership, right? If you go to a Mercedes dealership, Mercedes is awesome. And I do think the style here is like, I feel like the sales style is, I don't know what decade really, but let's just say like the 1960s or something. People are dressed very well, they're very articulate, but they definitely avoid downsides and really highly emphasize the benefits, right? And that's just the, you know, I get it, but it's not my style. I like to be transparent and say, yeah, that's, like, I wouldn't buy on this side because they're building a building right next to it. Like, I would just tell you that. They're going to say, oh, well, we don't really know. Maybe something happened. Like, that's the nuance to how things work here a little bit. All right, we got a super chat. Hold on, let me get through the comments. I'm a little slow right now. It's late. See, I'm better in the morning. Anyway, Rich's method. I rented a 1-bedroom, unfurnished, and Kilauea gym, 3 lifts, and it was $60K. Exactly. That's the number. Which is when I talk about buying property, they have 6 different units that are 1 bedroom, a small one up to a bigger one. Why are you buying the bigger one? Because the rent's not going to be much more, maybe 5,000 Kenyan shillings more, which is like $30-$40 more. Why would you pay 2 million more to be able to have the bigger unit? But anyway, we'll talk about that. That's with the borehole, backup generator, common areas, 3rd floor balcony. Yep. I asked because I just don't want to drop 8 to 10 M on an apartment and have it empty for 6 months out of the year. The problem in Kenya is there's no data whatsoever. So part of the announcement is we're going to be working on that database, collecting information, being able to advise people with real numbers. I don't think you're going to be empty for 6 months ever. I mean, you would have to have bad ratings for Airbnb. Like, you'd have to have a bad floor, no view. Like, again, it's the first month, but somebody sent me their data. They basically had 100% occupancy for the first month that they rented out the property. Also, you could drop the price. Now, competition's coming into the market. I was having a discussion about this. Actually, I was at an event, and the president, the big developer, was talking about that. So we'll get into that as well. We'll talk a lot of insider. I'm like, it's kind of crazy, but I'm part of the real estate industry here at this point. Some people think I'm naive, but I don't know. We're going to put that to the test soon. Who's right about this stuff? Anyway, I right now, if you bought something that's completing now, even if it was pretty junky, it'll rent. I have a friend that, and when I say friend, is a viewer, friends, someone I probably met and talked to. They bought a property that I told them, I think it's really crappy. I really couldn't even buy it. But he rented it in like 2 weeks. But I think he did unfurnished. But for a good amount of money in Westlands. So right now, anything will rent. Now, if you look, there's like 10 projects going on in Westlands right now. And most of them are completing Q3 and Q4 of 2028. Thousands of units, 2,000, 2,500 units, something like that. That's going to add some competition. What I think is going to happen is, this is why I focus on the quality a little bit. Right now, the quality doesn't matter. Even if you buy a junky property, it will rent. But your Airbnb ratings, the view, the development having good amenities, it getting a good reputation as a development, the management at the development, the location, all that stuff in a more competitive market or a market that slows down is going to make a big difference. And actually, the developer that had the event yesterday was saying the same thing, which I thought was crazy. Because honestly, I didn't really think they cared that much about the quality. I feel like they are doing the bare minimum quality that'll work. like some do care about quality, but I think they do the bare minimum that they think is going to work in the market. But what is happening is every developer is raising the bar with quality every time. For example, Amethyst now, they did Emerald Springs before that, and which is about the handover. And then they did Misty Springs. If you look at Misty Springs and then you look at Emerald, Emerald is much better. And I think their quality is really great. Amethyst is probably going to be even better, even though it's in Kilimani. Let me get to the super chat. Key J, what's going on? Member too, $10. Thoughts on Brookside Oak? Oh, they start groundbreaking today, and you will be making a video on the property. I just left Nairobi 2 weeks ago and decided on this property since Amethyst sold out. Oh, the top floors. Because Amethyst still has units, but the best units. Oh, great question. The Oaks have a good reputation. I have not been to any of the Oaks. I've been to Gaia Brookside. These developers are just getting to know me, so that I only get some of the invitations. I actually was at a different event when Brookside Oak was doing their event, but I didn't know about the Brookside Oak event. It's a high priority for me to get over there because, again, they have a good reputation. And Brookside, I like a lot. I don't know the price. I don't really know anything about the project, to be honest, right now, but it's on the list of scouting. So I generally have a really positive disposition towards it, but I can't, I haven't seen it. I can't say too much about it, but generally I have a positive view. I think they have a good reputation. So I'm excited to see it. And Brookside, I haven't spent too much time on the Brookside or Spring Valley, but that area is really nice. I do think the thing is, Westlands, even like the lower Westlands or Raptor Road, which really to me isn't very much like Westlands, they're always going to have a premium because a lot of business travelers and foreigners only stay in a place that says Westlands. Regardless of the actual location, as long as it says Westlands, it's 20, 30, 40% more than the other areas. Meanwhile, Brookside is real nice. Like, I would live in Brookside. I would live in Spring Valley. I like those areas a lot. I'm going to do like a driving tour. Guys, the reason you don't see neighborhoods is because filming in Kenya, especially Nairobi, because there's a lot of county and the police and all people running around. I'm going to try to do like a dash cam footage of driving around some areas, but filming is kind of an issue because I want to show people the different areas because it's hard to give people context. But generally, I think that's pretty cool that you got that place. All right, let me go through the comments much faster. I know I'm being way slow. There's no set prices in Nairobi, and that 100K is way inflated. Yeah, but if you rent Airbnb, you can probably get it. Unfurnished long-term rentals are really slept on. Everyone, yeah, guys, if you're in another country trying to manage or do Airbnb, how the heck are you going to do that? Which goes to my point, and I'm going to talk about some more red flags. How y'all think that's going to work? Because this is a low trust environment, to be honest, and I don't mean to be condescending, but doing business here, trusting people. If you notice, some of the people I was really like, I really helped some people out, and they didn't do the right thing. And if you don't see them no more, and it's common, just like the lawyer situation, right? So I have a relationship with FKC Legal because I've talked to like a dozen lawyers. and they clearly stood out. And I feel like you're pretty safe with them. And not pretty safe. I mean, like if you have an issue, like send me a message. I'll be like, yo, what's up? And they'll probably respond. So, and trust me, there are a lot of vacancies on the high end. There can be, but what are they doing? Like what's going on in the Airbnb market? Again, guys, I'll have better information in 2028 when my units get completed, because then I'll be able to, I'm going to be transparent about the different things that I do. The Somalis and Indians don't care about views. They just want quiet apartments for religious reasons. I've rented out apartments. Yeah, I don't want to get into all that. I know that, like, I don't know about Somalis, but I know the Indians. Like, I did a video for Verona, and we even said it was one of the best projects that we've seen. Like, it actually was. Like, there was a lot of thought put into it. They wanted me to take the video down. And so I did take the video down, and now I'm thinking, I don't think they only want certain people buying at their properties. That happens here in Kenya. Like housing discrimination isn't illegal, or maybe it's illegal, but it definitely happens. And people doing stuff like that, I can't rock with them. I'm considering it for long-term rentals, not Airbnb. You'll be fine if you do that. For Airbnb, I'd prefer spending that $10 million on a cottage in the bushes of Nanyuki. Way better ROI for Airbnb from the data. So in the US, people thought that too. And then there was an Airbnb bubble, and then people lost a lot of money because people were renting out property to do Airbnb because there was such a difference between the Airbnb price and the long-term rental price. But it looks good because people don't consider all of the other costs, because you have marketing costs. Airbnb is taking a cut, cleaning, repairs, insurance, damages, the time that you have to spend dealing with it. These are all costs that when you do it in a long period of time, it's sometimes you're not making as much as you think you make, just because when you see that gross rent number, even if you're getting good like low vacancy, it still can be a problem. Americans care about views, but only few in markets compare to some. What do you mean? Why does everyone differentiate based off of the nationality of the developers? I don't get it. Like, Haas Consult, I believe, is Somali. But then there's Somalis that build things that fall down. So what does it mean that they're Somali? What does it mean that they're Chinese? There's Chinese developments that I don't even think about looking at, and there's Chinese developments that I think are great. You guys got it. Like, I think that needs to stop, to be honest. It's not a good way of making a decision. It's lazy. It's lazy intellectualism to say, oh, this is an Indian one. Oh, this is that. And interestingly enough, what was missing from the gentleman's question, and the most important part, was what area was the property located? Yeah. Well, there's a big difference in Westlands and Kilimani. You're right. It's basically like Mad Men kind of selling. Yes, exactly. We're in the 1960s over here, which is some good aspects to it, actually, because the interpersonal things are better. An important question for you. Have you lived in these areas you're asking about? Why don't you know what's going on the ground? Do you think it is necessary to sign up contract via lawyer? Recently, I checked a contract on Luminar. I think it is quite favorable contract compared to general conditions and terms. I think that if you have no experience, that you should use a lawyer. I didn't use lawyers on my purchases, but I've been in real estate 13 years. I've been to court on a couple of occasions. I have a friend that's a lawyer in the US, and I feel pretty comfortable with law in general, me personally, but for the general public should use a lawyer, to be honest. I think so. The problem is, if you just use any lawyer here, I'm talking to one of the developers' lawyers right now to get my title. And she was like, "Oh, my computer's broken. Let me message you from my friend's computer." Like, what, your dog ate your homework? Like, why would you tell me that? And now, and they've done other things that's super unprofessional. And I'm like, yo, this multi-million-dollar developer has trusted this lawyer to do their business. So if a developer's lawyer is goofy, what do you think a random lawyer that you don't know how to find the proper lawyer is going to do? So yes, you should use a lawyer, but back to my red flags. Westerners, we're used to, if someone has a license, you think that they're at least like competent. You cannot think that here. You will talk to a lawyer here. Some quick research will tell me that what they're saying is not correct. And they could price gouge you. They don't know you from nothing. And as a foreigner, they know that you don't know. Like, there may be ways to take recourse against somebody that takes advantage of you, but are you really going to do that? No, you're an easy target. And y'all need to stop trusting people. This is a low trust environment, okay? That if there's one thing I need to convey is that this is a very low trust environment. And if you're walking around trusting people without thinking about the bad things that can happen or ways they can take advantage of you, you are thinking very wrong, and something hopefully doesn't bad happen, but it definitely can. Grr. Yes, you're correct. All the top foot. So I don't know if I'm supposed to say this, but they're not all sold out. They want to charge you an extra $500K to book it. So their availability sheet has it all red. Okay, so aside from the announcement, for all the new people coming in here, if we can get to $150 in super chats, I'll make a really big announcement about something I've been working on for like 6 months. It's going to be very impactful here. Send me a message, because I know some of the developers and I can help navigate and negotiate some of these things and get a little bit more of a discount sometimes. Not all of them, like the gentleman talking about Brookside Oak. I don't know them yet, so I won't be able to do that. But with some of the developers, and that's why I've been so busy, I've been going to all the developers. I've been sitting with a couple developers for hours and hours and hours, and it's really been pretty awesome, actually. It's very enlightening. So yeah, I think it's risky to invest in property at groundbreaking. It's safe to invest if the structure is complete. Yeah, so again, nuance is required with this comment, because yes, generally it's risky. There are certain developers that I actually think it's a benefit. There's a lot of benefits to booking early, because if you book 3 years out, the payment plan's better, the price is way better, so your return on investment's better. Yes, you do have to wait, but with the reliable developers, you absolutely will do well booking them early. Yes, there's still risk, though. I mean, anything can happen. Force majeure. In 2 years, Westlands will be very competitive. Demand is there, but developers are really coming up quick with apartments. Absolutely. And again, I was surprised to hear one of the developers say that. He was saying competition is coming, and it's so crazy. And this is why I really only like certain developers, because, and I'm going to start interviewing them, hopefully, because they've been shy, but I think they get it now. Or the ones that get it, we're going to have on. I actually can't wait to have one of the developers on that I really met, and I really like his like attention to detail. So, and more people should know more about the developers. That's why I'm saying not all the Chinese are the same, not all Somalis are the same. It's individual developers and companies that you really need to look at. But anyway, this developer was saying there's competition coming, and the thing that's going to be the difference is the quality and the amenities. And I've been talking to Kai about it. I've been talking to a lot of people, and that has been the consensus. And that's great for the market here, because developers used to do the bare minimum, and there are some still doing the bare minimum. Check out the Golden Mansion video. But the level, even the bottom level, is rising. So the quality of housing is improving because of this competition, and I think that's a good thing. Will there be pain and problems at some point? I think so. That's just, any market cycle does that. So I wouldn't be overly scared. I just think, again, nuance, right? It's not white or black. It's, hey, is this project in a good location? Does this developer have a good track record of building quality? Are the amenities good and appropriate for the area? Are they going to be competitive? Those are the things that are going to matter more as the competition comes in. Because again, right now, honestly, you could buy anything and it's renting. MH, what's going on? How are you? I'd seriously hesitate to invest in any of these new build apartments anywhere in the world, let alone here. Why? Old associates are no longer around. Guys, I want to explain something, but I haven't thought it through enough to articulate properly. And it could. A lot of people are making money from things that I'm doing. A lot, hundreds of thousands to maybe $1 million between developers and agents and all that stuff. If you add up all the people that have been purchasing that I know and have helped, $1 million at least. To be honest, seriously. Dang, MH, he's in here. You talking trash about Oscar? That's crazy. I would, but see, okay, and we're going to talk about the agents as I get through these comments, hopefully. Integrity is the number one thing that I'm looking for in this market. And when I say integrity is not pushing a sale just to make money. And to really, to me, the best salespeople consult more than they sell. They educate and consult. And regardless of his charisma, from the short time of, associating, I think the integrity and the consultation and the education that was there for some people that have worked with him. So, that's a Kenyan thing too. This is the 1960s thing I'm talking about, though, because people are more conservative and don't let their personality out. They keep it very professional, which is vanilla. But I keep telling these guys, yo, your Instagram page is all properties and it looks just like everyone else's page. Who are you? We want to know who you are. We want to know the people we're working with. Anyway, I wonder if Oscar's still here. He heard that. Security guards and cleaning lady, boyfriends, girlfriends will be sleeping in, taking baths, cooking in your empty Airbnb. Well, they tell you, yes, they're going to be doing more than that. Please believe if they feel like if you're not paying attention, they're going to be doing, the Russian guy is going to be in there. What about Balkis? Do you know anything about their project in Riverside? I know it's in Riverside. I have not reviewed any of the Riverside ones. There's that Pavel one. There's Balkis. Wonder Properties has one coming out. Actually, I have an exclusive on one coming out from them. If you want to know more about that, send me a DM. I have the info. I don't think they're publicly marketing it, so I don't want to jump out the window, but there's some, I have early access to one, although they have sold a couple units from before. But no, I haven't got there. I'm sorry. The problem with cottages in those areas is you need to be present at all times to ensure things are working. It's close to impossible for things to run with that. Yes, I feel like that way about Airbnb management for foreigners. Freedom, what's going on, man? I've seen you in the comments. Yep, you'll learn to read between the lines. Verona is going to be a vegetarian building. Yep, I know what you mean. And they've been building for like 3 or 4 years, and Pandora's about to, because Pandora's right next to it, is about to finish before they even get halfway through the project. Whoever put money in that thing they should be, I would be mad. Airbnb government tax for foreigners is now 20%, and they're holding the fee. They just started. That's another consideration. See, this Airbnb stuff, man, is Hosketsol's not Somali, it's Indian. Sorry, not sure. Very low vibration. It's either, I think Haas is Indian. Where's your boy Dennis? Yeah, where is he at? I don't know. Ask him. Yeah, Almasi Realty. What is that? We got to get to 120. We got to get to $150 super chats to make a big announcement. Drink more water. What's going on, man? Thanks for being a member. If you look at my YouTube channel, there's stuff up there, but I'm just dropping it over time. We're not ready for a rush of people to come in. So if I really need a couple people to help train the team and do what we got to do. What is the average monthly rental income for unfurnished 2 bedrooms? I think, dang, what's unfurnished in Westlands? I don't know Westlands is good. Actually, Oscar, you should jump in. I think a 1 bed is 90. Is it 90? I think so. A 2 bedroom, I dare to say a 2 is around 120 to 140. I'm not super confident on what I just quoted you, though. I know Kilimani really well. The lower, Kilimani, Lavington, Kilileshwa. But I think that's Westlands. I actually regret not purchasing a unit at the Emerald. It looks stunning from the new progress videos I watch. I'm heavily considering Amethyst and Luminara versus 1 unit at Pandora. A $20 super chat. Thank you. Oh my gosh. I really appreciate that. I really do. Thank you. I sound like a fanboy or something, but Emerald delivered exactly the renders. If I ever found time, I should take a picture at Emerald of the different rooms and from the same perspective as the render, and then post the render side by side. They look the same. I mean, there's not much more that you can ask for than that. Amethyst, the pricing is high, but I know they're going to deliver. Actually, they have a podcast studio. It's one of the amenities. It's not for everybody, but I think it's really cool. Amethyst is going to be a good project. And the location is pretty good on Dennis Pritt. Luminara. I'm going to do some more content on Luminara because I want to, I've been, I spent some time with the developer. I really like the developer. He really cares about quality. And as a responsible person on here where people take what I'm saying seriously, it's hard for me to just say, oh, you should buy it just because I know the developer and stuff like that, because it's his first independent project, but he has been working with a company that's been here for 10 years. As part of that team. So I'm starting to be a little bit biased. And the price offering for the location and what I think the quality is going to be, if I look at it objectively, is very competitive in the market. And see, that's the weird thing, because Amethyst is in Kilimani, so your rental numbers are already a little bit lower. There's no doubt that it's going to be a good project. When you look at Luminara, though, it's in Westlands. It's on Lower Westlands, but it's still in Westlands. Like I was saying, that Westlands gets a premium no matter what, because it's the blue zone. And, not everyone traveling to Kenya and Nairobi are coming here because they want to be here like that, right? Like, some of these guys are business travelers. They're coming for work. And those kind of people are probably scared to come to Africa if they haven't been. And so their company probably tells them, everyone, if you go online, everyone says, go to Westlands. That's all they know. They don't know anything else. So if the property says Westlands, it's more money. And so even if it's Lower Westlands, when I look at the price and the offering for Luminar, it's very competitive. So these are, and guys, this is like, okay, and we're talking about sales integrity. These are the conversations that we have. I don't care if someone buys Amethyst, Luminara, Pandora, whatever it is. We just talk about the pros and cons, what your objectives are, and how to navigate that. And I think that's sales at its best level, personally. Oh, wait, we got an answer from Oscar on the rent. Hold on. I see it down there. Let's see if I was I right? No, not. Unfurnished, Westlands, 1 bed, 85 to 95. Okay, I said 90. 2 beds, 100 to 120. I think I said 120 to 140. So there you go. I trust Oscar's numbers there. I think that looks accurate to me. What do you think about 88? Well, first of all, they have a bunch of lawsuits going on, actually. They don't interact with me, so I don't know. If you guys ask me, if everyone's asking me about Elysian, which is done by Haas, they don't interact with me. I don't know. And I don't like that, to be honest, obviously. Haas has a good reputation. I've seen 1870. The quality is good. Is it worth the super mega premium? I don't know. I don't think so. I sound like a fanboy. I sound like I'm pushing product. I was at the Diplomat recently. That video's coming out as soon as I can get around to it. Some of the finishes were in. Kai and I were very excited, to be honest. I'm like, I feel like I stole. The price that I bought the Diplomat at for the top floor facing the street, oh my gosh. I feel like I stole. And their pricing is still reasonable. I think they're going to be increasing it soon. They have a lot of availability facing the backside. I guess people think that backside's going to get blocked. We're actually going to go back over there and look at it. We did a pretty good analysis, but we didn't look at all the back lots. It's hard to get around, guys. Like, you can't just be snooping around in Nairobi. Somebody's going to stop you. Something's going to happen. Anyway, or at least us. Kai got stopped by the secret police the other day. So the Diplomat still, I think, is the best buy. That just me. I'm sorry. Cheval. I haven't been there yet. Looks really cool on the outside. Don't know anything about it. Riverside. Guys, I don't really get Riverside. I don't understand it. I don't know why things are expensive there. It's one way in, one way out. The traffic. It is very green and nice, but there's a lot of developments coming up on Riverside is one road. And then so it's Riverside Drive that connects Waiyaki Way, Westlands, down to Kilauea area. It kind of connects you, or Kilauea/Kilimani area. It just cuts through. But once you get on that road, there's no getting off it. If there's a car accident, it's narrow, you're stuck. I was in a hot Uber for a really long time, sitting on Riverside, not moving. And that experience, maybe I'm biased, maybe it doesn't happen all the time, but I was sweating and I was just stuck there. Imagine living there and getting stuck. The rule of thumb with everything from lawyers to developers to the guys making your furniture is you get what you pay for. If you try to say, yeah, but not really, because some bum lawyer here sees a foreigner, they'll try. Man, somebody hit me up saying a KRA pin, they want like 40,000 Kenyan shillings. Like, really? No. New Project Westlands, Golden Hill. I haven't even heard about this one yet. That's crazy. Again, a video that can be edited and present only the best angles and convey only the positive, boots on the ground. But yeah. And yeah, sometimes I get criticism on my videos. Again, if you guys are watching those overview videos of the project, I'm not fighting with them about the information. I'm just asking them the information. If you want my opinion, I've been doing a separate video about that. That's generally in members only. I'm not trying to gouge people for money, but also, you know, Kenya's not, you know, open with all the speech stuff. And I don't know all the laws and, you know, all that stuff. So it's not publicly available generally. A couple of the videos I let come out for a little bit. I just consider waiting for the next one. Lots coming up. I want to see them next to Westland's project, and I wasn't impressed by the developer or the work. Which one are you talking about? Morning, evening. The families have been there. Oh. Letter D rings a bell. What? What are y'all talking about? But these properties with lots of amenities, can they be maintained in the long run? It will be costly to maintain them in the long run. I prefer properties with less amenities. I don't agree. I do agree with maintenance is a little bit of a trouble here. So that's a valid point, but I'd rather have them. As a owner, you can have an impact. I've had an impact in my building about some of the things as far as management was going on. Maybe I have more leverage than normal people do, but I've got some things changed. I think a lot of travelers are going to want to have the amenities. I like the amenities personally. I use the restaurant here all the time. Those meeting rooms and stuff, for me, is a good thing. You know, you don't always want to go to like a public restaurant and stuff. We need more energy from him, or you should have him record you. The YouTube videos are meant to inform and entertain. Dang! She's coming at your neck. That's crazy. Yeah. Oh, well, that's feedback for you. The Russian guy, he be in there. Nairobi Barbie. Hi, Ryan. Happy you're back. I've got my notebook ready and a Korean cider by my side. Excited to learn something new about real estate. Oh, hopefully I can be helpful. I appreciate that. Are salespeople telling you the downsides about a product really a thing in the West? I don't believe it. the level of transparency is definitely more. They get really uncomfortable here if you talk about downsides. I'm not saying that they're like, yeah, this is bad, but I do think there's a big difference about it. Like here is like, it's like a sin to say anything that might even close. Like I've been doing these videos where I want to, like, I, they shall remain nameless. I was like, how many units are here? They were like, oh my God, I don't want to say, it's a lot. Well, how are you like, how's that going to work? You just hope they don't ask, you know? So that's like the mentality with a lot of salespeople, especially the inside salespeople at the developers. That is a thing. Haas has the duplexes on Riverside too. It's on a crazy short leasehold. Maybe they'll be renewing the leasehold. Vegetarian building. Ah, that's a deep cut. That's for the members only. You're gonna have to. We can only talk about that in members only. Good evening, Martin. What's going on, man? How are you? Yes, if you do not have a Kenyan KRA for conducting business in Kenya as a foreigner and people book through the Airbnb platform, your tax is 20% without FKC legal. They'll help you figure those things out. Because anything is possible in Kenya. You just got to do it the right way. And if you don't know this is what you do it yourself, you're going to crash out. Unfurnished. Oh, yeah, we talked about that. 5% tax for Kenyans with their KRA 5 on Airbnb. What do you think about, oh, yeah. What about Cheval? Haven't been there yet. It's on the list, although it's on Riverside. It's not my favorite place to be. Riverside and Brookside both has smaller roads and a lot of projects. Brookside, I like Brookside. Spring Valley and Brookside, I do like. Riverside's tiny. Jamaican guy, Jam Tour told me 40K. Yes, see. So look, you can build the biggest building. Gary Vee said this. You can build the biggest building by building the biggest building or tearing down all the other buildings. I always want to build the biggest building. So that's kind of crazy, though. Yikes. Could you recommend some lawyers and agents? Dennis seems legit. I will recommend FKC Legal. Hold on. Oh my God. Legal.com. Tell them that I sent you. I have a partnership with them, but I have a partnership with them because I think they're good. Again, I've talked to a whole bunch of lawyers and I've realized how hazardous it is. It's not like hiring. Like if you hire a lawyer in, let's say the US, but probably most Western countries, like they're probably going to at least be like mediocre. Man, the lawyers here, and Freedom said you get what you pay for, but I totally disagree. Man, I go to the car wash. If I go to a new car wash and they see me coming, the price is like 10 times more. And I'm like, bro, this ain't my first time being here. What, is the car wash any better? No. You do not get what you pay for. Maybe for Kenyans, but if you look foreign, maybe even you diaspora guys, I don't think it. I still think they're gonna over try to charge you. And I'm complaining about, like, it's annoying, but that's how the game goes. We all have our privileges and downsides in life, right? Because there's plenty of perks for me of being here, and then there's downsides. And one of the downsides is people try to get your bread. They try to put their whole hand in your pocket if they can. And a lot of people have been having their hand in my pockets since I've been here. Good evening, Ryan. Tina, what's going on? How's it going? Hi, Ryan. Great to see you. I've got my pen. You're almost a pro. You're going to be a pro soon. So don't even, we got you. Freedom, the diplomat, Grosvenor, the Whoa, guys. Can you hear me? I lost power. Oh, the generator's about to go on. Whoa, am I still here? Look, it's dark. I'm connected with my Safaricom. I'm surprised it's working. Is it working? You see how you guys are all quoting really high KRA prices? I get it way lower than what y'all are talking about. Please, let me help you. I hate hearing that people have paid 30K for a KRA pin. Hold on. Let me switch to the generator real quick. That's crazy. Ay. Oh, what? I don't need that. What's going on, guys? Okay, hold on. You see me? I dropped. See? Stay at a place that has a good generator because the power went out. It's still out, but I'm on the generator now. Drop off that. I thought that would have ruined the whole thing. Okay. I don't know Hurlingham, to be honest, and it's slept on. Which option is better for a foreign investor in Kenya? Renting out a unit unfurnished or furnished? I think unfurnished. I think furnished rentals require you to acquire furniture and then manage the property much more closely. And again, we're in a low trust environment. Guys, honestly, y'all don't have street smarts, okay? A lot of it, like, shout out to Jeremy, the behavioral analyst, cool guy. Got scammed thinking he was getting residency for like 100K. Y'all be doing stuff wrong. People are not that street smart. So going to a furniture maker, negotiating, making sure they deliver, every task is a space to get scammed, to get overcharged, to just not get what you're looking for, to get bad service. I'm sorry, that's just actually how it goes. I love it here. I love the people here. I love, but it is a reality of having all these problems. So the more activity your business has, which Airbnb is active, you're in the hospitality business. There's a reason why I haven't done that with my other property. So when you're saying what's better, unfurnished is like no risk. Ryan was talking about the lawyers being out of pocket, the number of sales associates, they're absolutely wild. Yeah, we're going to talk about how real estate works here as I get through the comments. I know it's been taken. My agent said it's 25K, still too high. I don't know why you don't holler at your boy. Y'all. And I talked to Traverse Culture about this because people don't want to pay her. And I don't even be charging people. You know how many people I help for free? But Traverse, because when I started, I was like, why would I pay the middleman? Why would I do this? Why, these people don't help add value. Yes, they do, because shoot, if I could save you 50% and then you pay me, you're still saving money. And when you talk about these real estate issues, we're talking about millions of shillings, hundreds of thousands of dollars. I'm not trying to like be like, yo, you gotta, but like MH, if you message me and we're like, I need a KRA pin, would have got you for cheaper than that. Have you heard about getting provisional title taking a long time? Yes, it takes forever. Developer attorneys are very slow. My issue with Kenyan lawyers is they know less than me. I have to keep correcting them, and it's not cheap. Exactly what? FKC legal. Sorry. Dennis is not a lawyer. He's a hustler. Oh, my issue with Kenyan lawyers is that they don't have the correct information. Because if they're not in that discipline, every lawyer, if you talk to some random lawyer that's never done real estate conveyancing, he's going to tell you he can do all these things. And he's going to give you a crazy bill. Freedom, I'm telling you, he's going to give you a crazy bill even though he don't know what he's doing. These are the issues I'm talking about. You see, the MH, that's exactly what I'm talking about. You got to correct them. And you're not even from here. How? How does this happen? I had the same experience many times. The foreigner double price is real. I had a girl tell me 900,000 for what? Dried fish with ugali. I said, okay, I just want a price, but I have to go. She told me I can't. Bro. Oh, snap. Yep, we can see. Okay, cool. Yep. To cook. Yep. KRA pin is free. Just okay. You must be Kenyan. It's free for you. It's not free for us because there's no way to apply for it for a foreigner, and they won't do it. Less than, yeah, they. That's the other thing. The experience that foreigners have here for you Kenyan guys is different. The rules are different. The way people treat us is different. The whole thing is different. And like, I promise you, like you think you know, but our experience is different. That's why we sound different when we talk about this stuff. Because if I say it's expensive to go to the national park, it is for me, but it's not for you. Stuff like that. How many times a month does it happen? This is the first time since I've been here that the power went out. You froze for a few. Yep. You just started replying to people. You can do a you can't. No. My Kenyan friends, you cannot do a KRA pin on eCitizen because if you're on a visitor visa, you don't have an alien ID card. You don't have a way to file. I've been on eCitizen. I've gone through the whole process. You can't do it. You're allowed to have a KRA pin, but there's no method for you to go through eCitizen to do it. This is actually a good example. I know you're trying to help them. I'm not putting you on blast like that. When you come here and you talk to people, your first instinct is to listen because they live here. But why would they know the loophole that the foreigner can't access? Not that you access in the loophole, the fact that you can't apply on eCitizen because you're not a citizen or you're not a resident. So what I do notice is This is gonna sound like somebody in here. I'm sorry. I'm gonna, because it stuck out to me. They were like, "Oh, I was on a plane and I met someone. They said they're a developer, and they're gonna take me to all these properties." I was like, "You just met a random person? You met the developer on the plane?" I mean, it could happen. I don't think that's the developer. everybody, everybody, like, up to stay. How can it? Where do I even begin? Stop talking to random people. Just because they're Kenyans don't mean they know the systems that you need to operate through. Just because they're Kenyan don't mean they know nothing about real estate. Because if you ask some random person in the US about real estate, they don't know either. Especially if they don't own nothing, like what are they talking about? Please stop. Like this is the thing. People are so friendly here. And I think there's this deep, even if they're trying to get in your pockets, there's still like an appreciation for each other's humanity that you have here that I think people feel that warmness. Everyone says, "Can you feel so warm and welcoming?" And it is. But they could be warm and welcoming and be trying to get in your pockets at the same time. They and it could trick you because we're not used to people acting like that. Because it is genuinely nice. But they will also people here, like the business environment here, again, some of the people you don't see no more on the channel, if they can get an extra $100, they will throw you all the way under the bus for $100. That's just the mindset. Like $1 today or $1,000 tomorrow, they're taking the dollar today. A lot of people are like that, unfortunately. So it's something that really needs to be understood because you'd be like, why? What, like even with the sales situation, like why would they mislead or do this? Because they might get some money right now. They might close the deal. If they can convince you to close the deal, oh my gosh, they don't think about tomorrow. I'm sorry. It's just that's actually what happens. I have noticed that some developments have signs of structural issues after only 5 years. What structures have been made to correct and keep the building long term? You have to be more specific about that structural issues because I did post. There's different levels to this construction stuff. That's why, like, with the stuff that we're mostly talking about, when they're talking about the buildings are unsafe and all that, I don't. Most of these developers are beyond that level, at least. But when you're looking at, like, when I was in Kilimani, I made that short about, I was looking at the mortar work of the blocks of that building. That thing was looking crazy. So building safety is important. I'm not a structural engineer, and I don't know that much about building high-rise concrete buildings. So it's hard for me to say. I can tell you when I see like poor execution on work, although once they put the coating on top of it, you won't be able to see it anymore. I don't know. I don't really have a good answer to. I think it's a valid concern for certain things. Again, the real solution is work with good developers. How much will it take to manage an apartment per month? Unfurnished, I just do my own unfurnished. There's not much to do as far as the management. Airbnb is probably charging 20% for management, 20% of your gross. You're American. So you went on you can go on eCitizen and apply for care. Oh, you went to the tax office and they actually did it? I recommend that getting Ryan's guidebook is full of valuable information, especially if you're serious about buying property. Yeah, thank you. I try to, I think it's that ebook is supposed to like, kind of like what the talk that we're having now is, point you in the right framework of buying here. You know, it's not going to give you everything, but like you got to know what's going on. A lot of people are buying without knowing. I did mine from Florida with the recommendation of a developer through a tax agent. Really? You paid them 100 shillings, or you're saying $100? Because if you paid them $100, that's what I'm talking about. Can you explain? Yeah, that's what I was wondering. Correct. They will deny you applying for a KRA PIN as a foreigner through the website. Trust me, I tried, and that was for the non-working version, the no tax file. Yeah, exactly. That's rare to run into a developer on a plane. Keep it in mind, if you are on a tourist visa, you should not be earning working. Remember? Of course. How it feels like living in your own place it's the best. And the reason why I don't rent this out or anything, first, I don't want people messing up my stuff, but also being able to leave my stuff here and then just fly in and not bring anything. I did bring stuff, but not needing to is really cool. I actually forgot what clothes were here, so I was like, oh, there's my shoes that I was looking for. Oh, there's a shirt. So that's pretty cool. I overly spent on furnishing this place, but it's super comfortable. I'm used to it. I don't know. It's a second home, you know. It's the best, really. And then I own it, so I have to pay the service charge actually today. They sent me the bill, 7,000 here, which is what? 7,000, $50, something like that. $60. It's the best. Airbnb, it's annoying. You got to check in, the keys. I have my fingerprint is recorded on the door, so I don't need like anything. I can just unlock the door. I have it linked to my phone now, so if someone rings the doorbell, even if I'm in the States, I could see what's going on. I need to add some CCTV. Oh, my favorite thing that I did was I got a screen for all my windows in the balcony, because they don't come with screens. I had it custom made, and it was very affordable, 20,000 shillings for that screen. You can't see it, but there's a screen there. The window's open, so it's nice and cool in here, because at night you have to close your windows or mosquitoes will eat you to death, and you won't sleep because they're going to fly right in your ear. Even though I'm on the 18th floor, I don't know how that happens. So the screen is probably my favorite thing I ever did here, because I leave all my windows open. It's nice. Actually, it's cold. Like you see, I'm wearing a hoodie. They are just looking for a sales fee. Yep. You'll see one Terrence Park. What's that? Okay, I got a KRA pin on eCitizen, but it was a partnership with a Kenyan. What do you mean a partnership? See, that's a red flag. What you mean a partnership? I'm scared for you. Partnership? You see what I mean? Like, maybe I don't know. I don't know everything, but this comment, that's scary. Sheesh, have you seen some of these developers? They can be nice and warm to me to get in my pockets and my pants. Just get me a discount. Y'all need to hit me up. I'm telling you, some of these developments, I'll be like, yo, let's get a couple 100K off. I'm starting to think that YouTube lady wasn't crazy for going at Dennis and nah, that's going too far. That lady was crazy. I used a developer who told me to go through a tax officer after. See, y'all listening to the developer to get your legal stuff done. I mean, they could tell you the truth, but they also could tell you some bogus stuff. After I submitted the info you wanted and paid for a notary, I was given a KRA pin, which I verified. Yeah, but you paid $100. If you paid $100, that's normally what it costs. Facts, you shouldn't be earning abroad. You have to keep it on the down low. Yeah. Oh, wow. Thanks, Vanguard. We'll have to look into that. That's Kenya for you. Even scammers are nice. Very nice. People will rob your pockets and sit next to you in Kenya and shake your hand and smile. I did all that from Florida. That's cool. They're warm and welcoming and still somehow in your pocket. That's the Kenyan hustle. I think you meant no earning abroad on a tourist visa. You can earn abroad with another type of visa. You need a work permit to work. You can earn, like if you're a digital nomad, you can make money outside of Kenya. I'm going to hit you up tomorrow, Ryan. Yep, no problem. Let me know. Come on, guys, especially in a membership. You know how many people message me stuff? It's nothing. Well, yes, correct. As long as you have that particular visa. I need the screen plug. Send me a message. I got the screen guy. I love having my place and my stuff there at RIAR1. I did the same as you. How do you like it over there? I think Gong Road's an interesting area. I know RIAR Road's right next to Gong Road. That's what I'm saying, Gong. By the stadium, it's very affordable over there. Junction Mall is very convenient. Gong Road's getting the overpass. Although it doesn't go very far. Is it really going to help? I don't know. I was excited about it, but now I was like, yeah, this thing don't go nowhere. I think that area could be, is like in 10 years or something going to be pretty nice. Do you have a cleaner and how much do you pay? I pay my cleaner $2,000 when she comes. She said $1,500. I was like, that's too low. You know what's messed up? This really bothers me is that she got her phone stolen, man. I don't mean to digress this, but that bothers me. Like, yes, the U.S. is violent and there's crime and all that as well, but stealing from an older lady that doesn't have a lot of money, that's a different level. You know? Like, what's up with that? I don't know. Something about that bothers me. Sorry. Anyway, this is not the topic today, but had to do get a KRA was marry a Kenyan woman. That's the most expensive way to do that. If your apartment tour video you mentioned the lights in your counter, they do look very nice. Oh, thank you. Yeah, I do. I love those lights. That actually, I'm going to fix this. It's bothering me. Okay, sorry guys. I'm sorry. I couldn't deal with the color temperature being off. Did I miss your announcement on the new venture? Guys, the new announcement, I'll give the announcement if we make $150 in super chats today. I'm super excited about it. There's a lot of people in here, so I'm scared because if I announce something and you guys all rush to use it, we're not all the way set up. I'm set up to handle a limited amount of people that we can help. But I'm trying to figure out how we're going to launch this because how do you project how many people are going to use what we're going to do? But I'm really excited about it. A lot of these guys out here in this business have been unethically eating my lunch, and I think it's time for me to eat their lunches. You know? And in the, why did I go the dark route? We're going to clean up this chaos that's happening for a lot of you guys. That's really what we're going to do. All you see, all like, hell, you could get it from a tax officer through the developer through this to get that and this. We're gonna streamline this whole thing. You're gonna get the proper information on time. You're gonna get taken care of. Somebody's gonna answer. Someone's gonna be available. You're gonna get the right advice. I mean, I was going to say unbiased, but everyone's somewhat biased. But you're going to get transparency and safety. It's going to be great. Been working on it a long time. The CCTV shows all the parties of your apartment. I don't have it in here. I just have it on the outside, my door. But I want to put some inside just in case, like a Ring camera. But I don't think they have Ring. Sorry, y'all. I stole her phone to get 2,000 monthly. No, 2,000 every time she comes. But she, usually just once a week because I don't make messes. It be your own people too. Yeah. 2,000 monthly would actually be slavery. I think he means per visit. Yeah, per visit. Tell us what you're doing. I can't yet. Didn't you get an exempt, Big Brother? Don't you have an appetite for all those lunches? Yeah. This is like the money lunch, you know? They ate a lot of mine. They ate all my food. Greedy. But see, there's more meals to come, and they're going to starve. Yeah. Guys, I lost 20 kgs / 40 to 45 pounds. But if you follow me on Instagram, I was in the gym every day. Now that I've been here, it's like every other day. But I've been doing good. Thank you, MH. Dang, Ryan, why did that just sound like a Trump University? Don't say it's going to be great. Hey, I mean, there's a reason why he was able to become president. That some of the ways he communicates is very effective. Hit the like button, everybody. Thank you. This is his villain arc. Nah, just with the real estate industry over here, which I never intended to get into. I was happy promoting the local agents, and but I am adding value. Like they was eaten, and then they got greedy. And if I could trust somebody, I would have just continued to do that. But now you ate my lunch, and it's time for me to eat everybody's lunch. Trump has ruined those words forever. It's going to be great. You're going to leave. You're going to love it. You're going to get so tired of winning, your head's going to spin. Dang, we got 90 people in here. All right, so I guess we'll talk about this. Now that we're finally through all the comments, thank you guys. I appreciate you guys. You had me cracking up. I had more energy. I was tired when we started. Anyway, okay. I'm going to give you the game on how agents work so that when you talk to agents, you understand what's going on and the structure of this whole thing. Throw out everything that you know about real estate agents from wherever you're from, okay? When am I going to SA? I don't know, man. I'm so busy. I really want to go, though. Okay, anyway, let me stay focused for a minute. Okay. When we say developer, that is usually an individual or a couple people and some shareholders. Usually, this is where people are like, oh, they're Chinese, they're this, Somali, Indian, whatever, that own the company. Those are the developers. Those are the people that are building the building. The developers hire inside salespeople So those people are usually Kenyans, and they work in the sales because the Chinese, their English, their language, the culture, they don't really get that involved with the sales. Now, it's funny because the inside salespeople are well versed on their project, but that's all they really know. And they get like a small commission if you buy with them, like very small, not a lot of money. And then if someone comes without an agent, then they can get like a bigger commission. But if someone has an agent, they get a smaller commission. So that's how those people work. And obviously, the more they sell, the better it is for them. So they're just going to tell you good things. They'll get in trouble if they don't say good things, and they have a certain training, and they just stick to the training. That's the inside salespeople that work for the developers. Now we have the agents. There is a real estate license in Kenya, but it's not well regulated. I don't find, like, just like the US, sure, I guess it helps a little bit, but it's not that meaningful to me. But anybody basically is an agent. If you meet someone on the street on Gong Road and they take you and say, hey, this is my client, they will get 3, 4, 5, 6%, whatever they have negotiated with that developer, if you buy and when you pay 20%. They sign an agreement, an open mandate with that developer. The thing is that agents have different agreements with different developers for their percentages, and they don't have agreements with all of the developers. Some agents only sell certain, and it's weird because I don't know why they do this exactly. Some outside agents only sell a couple different properties. So that's basically how that works. So whoever brings the client and puts their name down, kind of like new construction in the US works like that. Like if I'm a real estate agent and I bring someone to, it's DR Horton, because not all of them pay. If I bring someone and they put my name down, then I'll get credit for the commission if they buy. It's the same thing. So that's how that works. Now, I'll explain to you how this becomes a problem. Many people are saying, he's the best lunch eater ever. Oh my God, nobody's ever seen somebody eat lunches better. Always doing the Trump impression. Too many unfurnished buildings everywhere makes my skin itch. What? Unfinished. Oh, you can have a company with a Kenyan. They own 51, and yeah, but does your KRA pin have your name on it? Because this is a company is different than a KRA pin. You're saying the company has a KRA pin? Yes, a Kenyan company can make a KRA pin. See, you're making me really nervous, brother. Because what's your operating agreement with the Kenyan that owns the majority shares in your company? Yes, it is a normal business practice, but it has to be done a certain way. Why are you sleeping in them? What? Need FBA boots on the ground, too much scamming. Americans. What? Oh gosh, they found us. They found us. The FBA crew. Oh gosh. So when you meet someone that is an agent, they're incentivized to sell you certain projects. Especially, now say you meet two different people, and one agent takes you to project 1, and another agent takes you to project 2. Well, the guy who took you to project 2 is going to tell you not to buy project 1 because he's not going to get paid. They're going to make they're just going to, And this is where the business ethics come in. They'll tell you anything to discourage or promote another place. And if you don't know any better, and that's your, see, this is the thing. If they're your main advisor, that's a problem. Now, does everyone do that? No, but yeah, you know? So that's one of the problems, is that if you start dealing with other people, which initially it was good to find the right person, but I'm like, again, people are going to be real nice to you. Oh, the power came back. People are going to be real nice to you, but they'll eat your lunch behind your back and get in your pocket. What else happens? Well, that's really the main thing. What internet am I on? Oh, we're still good. Okay. We switch from the generator back, but it's weird because I manually have to change from the power. It is common sense to think for yourself and make your own decisions. Real estate agents are more or less the same. Yeah. Yeah. So this is okay. It's common sense to you because I've seen a lot of your comments, and I can tell from how you speak about things that you have an analytical view and are some kind of professional. So for you, it's common sense. But what I realize is when I consult with so many people, it's not common sense for them. And when you add that like niceness thing, it tricks people. Because the things people come back and tell me or ask me that they've been told, I'm like, what? Or they're thinking about buying a property, and I'll be like, well, what about this one? And they didn't see it. And the reason why they didn't see it is because they rather just sell you the one that they get the better percentage from. Now, in the US, at least, like generally, agents, are compensated generally around the same. Obviously, the sales price matters. And that's the other thing. They're going to want to sell you the highest sales price thing. So I think it's a little bit like, and I'm talking about this because I'm realizing it from the conversations I'm having, because when I got here, was I aware of the steering? Basically, they steer you to different projects based on their own incentive structure. And then what people start doing is dealing with 4 or 5 different agents. So you're definitely not getting, because, okay, if you're a foreigner and you're only here for 2 weeks, how the heck are you really going to know the nuances between different locations and such? Again, it may seem more common sense to you. I could pick up on these things quicker than probably most people can. And I've been here a lot longer. But I mean, how would you know? Do you have a generator and borehole? Yeah, of course. That's like standard now. Like if you don't have that, that's crazy. Ryan's second home haunted. No, power just. Have you seen many expats coming to purchase units in Nairobi from US and Europe from the UN locations? When you mean from the UN, are they buying in Gigiri? I don't know people that are buying out that way too much. Most people are buying, but also that's because I'm making content about off-plan. Westlands, Kilimani, etc. Oh yeah. I don't even want to get into all that. I feel you though. I don't even want. It's like you speak their name, they come. They start showing up with all the nonsense. I'm not black enough. We need. Oh my goodness, the best thing. Sometimes the best thing to do on the internet is just you don't have to. You don't have to engage with everything. You know what I mean? Just okay, cool. And that's a bridge too far for me. All that FBA stuff. I get where they're coming from, but I just I don't I don't know. I don't like to add to so this has not that much to do with the topic, but um you guys know what I look like, and I don't know what you guys look like. So people stop me in the mall. I'm eating and people are looking at me funny, and then I guess they recognize me. It can become a security concern. And Nairobi is a small place, I guess. I meet a lot of you guys out here. It's crazy. But I'm scared because and the people that talk recklessly online, all you need is a crazy person to come jump on you. You don't know they're coming. So I always try to keep it real cool. Look at this guy advertising. See what I mean? See, this is exactly what I'm talking. What? And then one of you guys will send them a message like, "What you got?" Like you don't know this person. Oh my God. Clean titles. See, everyone says clean titles, but like anyone can get a title deed. That has nothing like the everyone advertises clean titles. Title in 30 days. You'll get a title in 30 days. Is it contested? How many heirs of the property were there in the past? Is the chain of title clear? And Vipingo, and not to knock, because Vipingo is a legit area generally, but I'm just using that as an example. And then look, freehold title deed next to Vipingo Road. Well, if foreigners are buying it, they can't buy a freehold, or they're going to have to do a trust or something. And if they don't do it right, then you can lose your stuff. How has the uptick in crime on the streets? Yo, I've been seeing a lot of stuff about the crime. I haven't seen any, but a bit concerning, yeah. Not everyone is scamming. Well, yeah, but you just came in here and just started advertising. You know what I mean? It's uncouth. You know? Just come in here and just start advertising yourself. It's cool, I get it. See, there's you gotta have some couth about you. Please give SA a chance. Yeah, I'm definitely going. I want to go to Cape Town, and see, this is the problem. See, if I go, it feels like work because I definitely want to look at some real estate and stuff. But then trying to find the people, it's like a whole thing. It's all clear. We're using a lawyer, all legit. Okay. See, if you wanted to do that, you should message me and we can talk about it. And I own the property and I'm developing it myself. Okay. You guys see what I'm talking about? It's business ethics. Like, let me jump on this platform with 85 people. Let me try to sell because I know that they got people that be buying over there. Let me just Like, what? You got excited because you thought you could get some money. You will get scammed. The issues is how much you're willing to lose. I went from 2K, never would have happened. Used USD to 100 USD with a bank account and a PIN. What? I'm confused. Stay out of a pingo or this man gonna show you why they call him Killer Holmes. Look, he's still going. He don't even get what I'm saying. You see what I'm guys, I can't believe this actually just happens like that. You know, it's not a big deal. Like, but the mentality, like, I'm just getting mine. I don't care. Give me money. I got this. Buy this. You know, like, brother. Real estate red flags, bro. That's not networking. You're graffitiing on my channel. That's not networking. Did you send me a message? Did you speak to me as a person, or you just came in here to sell some shit? You came in here with only your self-interest at mind. It does. The irony. Am I tripping? Man, I don't know. Like, oh man. All right. What other red flags could we talk about? I'm sorry, but the whole guy is a red flag because that's how can I? This is the mentality that people have. So again, when people are coming here, they're being nice to you and they're trying to take your pockets. It's common sense when you have a deep understanding in an industry. If you're not in this industry, common people would not have common sense about. Yeah, that's what I've been realizing. Yeah, you know, I try not to block people. What else? So, did we want to talk about? We talked about the Airbnb situation, talked about how agents worked. The building safety thing. So, to address building safety, I know that's a big concern for people. You know, it's a shame because this is happening in the US, so I don't want to sound too negative about it because it's actually happening across the world. But the recklessness of journalism is very destructive. So I'll use the US first, so you guys don't think I'm picking on Kenya. Like, I don't know if the journalism was more accurate back in the day, like 70s, 80s, but today, you can't, like when COVID happened, the amount of like, I don't even want to use that because that's like political and controversial. I'm trying to think of a topic where you just don't like, I don't know what to believe anymore because the journalism is just like for clicks and views. And so when that 85% of the buildings in Nairobi are unsafe came out, by trade organizations, architectural organizations, civil engineering organizations. I don't know much about them. It scared a lot of people and has become a narrative. But where the heck is this report at? And I agree that the building practices sometimes are, certain places are bad, but you have to differentiate. So, and this is the thing, again, if you don't know, how are you going to, I mean, it takes a lot of education to be able to differentiate between the nuances of these things. Right? Like, if you don't know about construction, like I have some experience with construction. I've done block work. I built like a wall at my house. I had a concrete foundation with blocks. I didn't build it all the way up, and then we wood framed it up. So I'm aware of like the fundamental of how it works and how it should look. And sometimes I look at this stuff like, yo, that don't look right. But for a regular person, how would you know? So my only solution to the building safety red flag is buy from developers that have a good history. Oh, my guy, I only know you by your pictures sometimes. Where'd he go? You were talking about Marina Bay not looking good after a couple years. When I went there, I thought they did a good job, but I haven't seen it since the first time we went there, maybe a year and a half ago. I wonder what you mean by it looks like it's not faring so well. But I brought that up to say that's how you solve the building safety issue or concern that you may have when you're thinking about buying, is looking at the past projects. I've talked about it a million times. The problem is if you're here for 2 weeks and you're working with an agent that just wants to sell you anything, it's kind of hard to do that. But the prudent thing is, so if you want to buy the Diplomat, you should look at Alina Ridge, you should look at Alina Harbor, and you should go look at the construction site. You should look at maybe the other things that they're building. And that's really the best you could do because you're not an engineer. I mean, you could pay for an engineer to come. They see us as walking bank accounts. Live example of a red flag. I think you need a podcast. Oh my gosh. He's not a scammer. You can tell by the way nah, he's not a scammer. If you block people, we couldn't have seen Freedom's growth from. Yeah, Freedom's been nice. What's up with that? Did we win him over? Freedom hasn't beat me in a while. He hasn't beat me up. And see, that's why you don't block people. Just, like, disagreement's fine. I've never heard of one building collapse in Nairobi, but there are several that have happened. That's what, yeah, exactly. Well, South Sea is Nairobi, I think. Oh gosh, my other work is calling me. I hope it's not too important because he's FaceTiming me. All right, hold on. I'm sorry, guys. Hello? What's up? Is the house? I'm doing something, but is the house gonna blow up? It has a gas smell. Yeah, it does. Oh, okay. It's not out of the ordinary. It's just that weird gas. Okay. Is the pilot out on the stove? Oh, okay. Because I got like 3 calls that it smelled like gas in there. Probably got to like crack a window or something. I don't know. Hmm. Yeah, he was smoking weed in there. All right, well, I'm on a live. I don't mean to rush you off, but I appreciate you stopping by. Thank you, sir. I'll talk to you. Yeah, see you. Appreciate it. See you. Sorry, guys. See, property management. We have a house that was under property management, which is the best business, actually. I really like it. In the US, it's too much for here. We're not ready for that. And then they're selling the property, and then people were saying it smelled like gas. So I sent somebody over to make sure it's good. Anyway, yeah, Dennis not a scammer. Several Nairobi buildings have collapsed recently. Karen had one, South Sea. Yeah, see, but well, Karen's an expensive area, but South Sea, you know, media literacy is a huge issue because of the same reason you said earlier about people not having common sense. We need to encourage critical thinking. Yeah, but see, the problem is you can't even trust the institutions and their information, right? Because if an architectural firm is going to come out and say the buildings are unsafe, like now I get a lot of messages about it, and I want to address it for people, but there's no way to address it because it's like it's a reckless claim that is there is some buildings have collapsed because they're built poorly, and I've seen poorly built buildings. But you know, it's one headline, and then people just say, you know, and it's not. It's I understand, like if you're a layman and you're like, well, they say 85% of the buildings are unsafe. Well, every 8 out of 10 of the buildings I'm in are unsafe, is how you would think about it. I understand it. The problem is, even the institutions are being reckless. Now, the thing is, I don't know the history of journalism in Kenya or anything like that. So I noticed, like, well, now even in the US, the conspiracy theories, there's some truth to them there too. But I was going to say, it's how do you believe anything? Because it's hard to get good references, is what I'm saying. So when you see stuff, again, media literacy, but you got to be really good at it now. Because even me, I just don't form an opinion from seeing something. I'm just like, oh, maybe. I just have to say, oh, that might be true. I don't know. Journalists are human with human biases. That is why it's important to get our information. But I think the institution had more respect for itself before. That 85% of the buildings were unsafe. How they know that? These are mad engineers. Yeah, maybe. And then, you know, the engineers are mad they're not getting paid. Like, what's going on? I agree on a Marina Bay. The finishing was cheap. Wow. You know, it's been a long time, but I didn't think it was that bad. I actually, before Emerald Show House, I thought that because Marina Bay is the same ones doing Marble West, I liked Marina Bay better than what I was seeing from Emerald, which I thought Marble West was going to be better than Emerald. But Emerald, I got to give them almost a 10 out of 10 for what they're delivering out of what they presented. Tell them you are live. Well, I didn't put it on speaker, so I don't understand why I see projects worth 1 million and they say 60% sold out. $1 million or shillings? Mute us. Even the building collapsed in New York City. And don't forget the new towers that catch on fire in Dubai from time to time, or the tower in London. Yeah, these things do happen. Wrong cladding, not fireproof, so safety has always been a concern. Based on the reported incidences between, yep, at least 3 major collapses, yeah. But okay, if 85% are unsafe, wouldn't more have collapsed? I hate weed so much, it needs to be illegal. It smells really bad, and when people smoke weed in a building, it it's pretty horrible. What happened to Dennis? Love the transparency. Dennis turned out to be oh my gosh. Yeah, a little bit, you know. Because you see that, never mind. That's what media literacy is. Yeah, but I think now you need to be really good at it. Why can't independent inspectors check for foundation integrity, build quality? Who's going to pay them? I guess is the question. I mean, that would be good. I always, so when we're talking about building safety, like, how do I know if their concrete mix is proper? You know? And when I was speaking to one of the developers, he was saying you can't rely on it being the rating that you're paying for. So he's like, if it's rated for 30, I buy the 40 rated one just to make sure that it's at least 30. See, these are nuances and issues that you wouldn't deal with generally in the West. If something's rated for something, you're probably going to get exactly what it's rated for. Here, you order concrete. Did they do it right? Because I try to get a fundi to do something here. I got to stand over top of them and watch them. Like so actually, I got faster internet now. And when the guys came, they were confused. Something wasn't working. They're messing with the plates, and the plate has 2 screws, right? He takes the plate off, and then I guess that wasn't the right one. He puts the plate back on and only puts 1 screw in, and now it's crooked. And I'm just watching them. And then they go do something else, and the screw is just sitting on the TV stand over here. And I'm like, I just took it off and put it back down. And I'm like, what's up with that? Well, put it back properly. Like, why? Why? And I'm using that as an example, but I must say the median way people work is like that. So when you have maintenance concern, like for example, at this building, the gym, there's a caretaker at the gym. He's sitting there on his phone. Nice guy. He just sits there and people sign in on a piece of paper. Obviously, that's nothing. You could write anything on it. And people will put weights on, you know, the barbell or whatever, and they won't put them away. And technically his job, he's supposed to put the weights up. Every time I walk by, there's weights on there, and he never put them away. There's some missing screws on one of the machines, and the sheet metal is loose. And I'm like, yo, that needs screws. Oh, okay. Next week, yo, this needs screws. Oh, yeah, okay. And I try to pick my times to like say something about stuff, but that way of being is very common, and especially around maintenance things. Like Kai was telling me a story at his Airbnb. There was a problem with one of the outlets / sockets, they would say here. He was like, yo, the guy came in, and when he left, it looked worse than it started, and the wires are hanging out, but it works. Like you could plug into it. So imagine years of fixing things that way. It can happen. Now, as a sectional title owner of this property, you have a say in how things are maintained. And I've been, I guess they probably listen to me more, but I definitely pushed them to like, yo, like I haven't talked about the gym thing to them yet, but I'm like, yo, these screws have been missing for a month. It's gonna break. And then they'll be complaining, oh, we gotta fix it. Well, the caretaker's not doing anything. You're paying the caretaker. I'm paying the caretaker with my service charge. He don't put the weights away. Although I think when you work out, you're supposed to put the weights away. But they are like, put the weights away. So I could see how things could get worse and worse. Like a lot of the pools start looking like the tiles start coming up. Because again, when they first did it, they didn't do it right. They didn't do it thoroughly because I'll put one screw instead of two. Who cares? And then the tiles start coming off. Now there's water in the pool. You'd have to drain the pool to be able to fix the tiles now. If you're looking for me for answers, I don't have answers about it other than work with the people that seem like they don't tolerate that kind of stuff by looking at their past projects. Also, I think like Amethyst, for example, they invested a lot into their show house and it shows. I mean, no, I'm sorry, their model, the sales office. I go to other development, it's in a junkyard. And the salespeople sometimes like seem less trained. Well, how do you think they're conducting the rest of their business? So maybe this, like to more sophisticated people, this sounds like common sense, but to someone that's not that familiar with this kind of stuff, they may not pick up on all those things, which is why we're going to be announcing something really big because we can help this problem and help guide people. It's not going to be a surprise. I keep hinting so much, but I'm not officially announcing it. I could take you guys through the whole thing too, but we got to get $150 on super chat for us to do that. And we're at $30. Key_J member also, shout out to you. And ALX with the $20 one. So we're at 30. Okay, let me catch up. Let me catch up with the comments now. Again, well, somehow I get in the critique mode. I hope people understand. I mean well with my critiques, but you guys need to know the mentality so you know how to move here. Oh, okay. Agree. We can't take things on face value. You definitely don't take nothing on no face value. I'm concerned about fire safety. Do they have firefighters? That's happening. Yo, I was just thinking about this. I don't know how to call an ambulance, and I dang sure don't know if they have firefighters. I will say that, like, I have like a fire hose outside. You'll see like fire water things on many of the floors. Do they work? I sure hope so. It's kind of weird because I didn't even know concrete really could catch fire, but I guess if you have enough stuff inside, it can get hot enough. All these comments trying to remind Ryan not to link anything of his phone call. And meanwhile, I'm turning. I suspect Hyperbolic, politically motivated claims to embarrass the current government. Yeah, see, and then that stuff starts happening. That's also a problem when they put a bit more because it will be stronger, but it just adds weight. Everybody asking for dentists, maybe you should address it. I'll just say, you know, you got to keep it classy. I'm just, you know, I was referring people and I'm not anymore. To get some more awareness of the quality is not only to look into the track record of the developer, but to also look into the track record of the local. Yeah, so I probably should talk to the developers more about that. I don't know how that part works. But that, like, to me, from my outside observation with these off-plan things, it feels like there's like a couple Chinese building, oh my goodness, a couple Chinese building managers, and then they just grab any laborers they can, and maybe there's a couple skilled people that know how to do something, and then they just like Russia World War II style, like get in there, because there's so many people working, but the construction site is so chaotic. There's stuff on the floor, they're cutting stuff just in the middle of the hallway, and there's like this work site's not clean. You got people mortaring things, and then there's dust flying everywhere. Like it's quite chaotic. So is that a construction company doing that? I have no idea. County government engineers are to blame. Doesn't exist in the way. What? The 88 building owner is being sued by some American investors. They bought 10 units. The owner claims they missed their quarterly payments. I wasn't able to read the article because actually FKC sent it to me. I just didn't read like the whole thing. That's interesting. It's apathy because they're being paid such a low. No, I don't accept this low wage thing. I've done stuff for free. I do things for free and I do it the best I can. I totally reject that mentality. You are a reflection of what you create in the world. That's at least my mentality. When you put one screw in, you don't care. But what you create is a reflection of you. That's why you need 6 months off from Kenya. I'm about to have to be here quite a bit more for our launch. How's the ventilation in those gyms? My husband complained about the gym at the Airbnb. Ours is like all glass and windows, and it's really open. There's not a fan running, but it's pretty well. I think actually your husband comes up with some pretty interesting things, like the shower door, which I usually think about stuff like that. I didn't come up with that. So for everybody, the shower doors here most of the time push inward, and sometimes it's hard to get in and then close the door. I don't know. It's a small thing. It's not a big deal, but I never really thought of it, but it is a thing. My gym's pretty well ventilated, but I mean, there's no air conditioning, right? So I'm always hotter than I want to be while I'm working out. I don't like to be hot working out. I like to just be a little bit cooler so that I recover faster. I know some people like to be hot. I'm very nervous. I'm currently renting in Nairobi, may buy soon. I don't think, I think being nervous, and that's what I mean. I don't like those headlines because I don't think being nervous is I was going to say appropriate, but obviously like you can't help if you feel nervous. So it's okay to feel nervous. I think if you're armed with the right information, then you'll be fine, which has to do with this announcement I want to make at some point, but we're going to get there. Yeah, my Airbnb gym, all the gym equipment are falling apart and the building was completed in 2025, 5 years from now. Yeah. You know what, though? Because I've had some issues at my building with some of the things that they did. And I went and I said something about it. And then, actually, it's funny because many people came to me about some issues. And then I went to the management. No one else had complained. I'm the only one. So I sound like a oh, here comes the American coming here complaining. For some reason, people don't say anything. So if I own property there, yo, I'm paying a service charge, fix this. Someday you got to send the management company, a developer, their lawyer, email. Like, you got to do stuff. There's apathy, and mediocrity is very well accepted. But if you do, you got to do something about it. I can't wait to hear your big, beautiful. It's very big and beautiful. Yeah, Golden Mansion had a show house built. I agree, because you had told me that before I had gotten there. I was very not impressed. Red flags. Video content in the Kenyan real estate market moves the market. And the Wandering Investor did that video about Golden Mansion. 35 of you guys sent me his videos in China and with the developer. When I looked at what they were talking about in China from that developer of Golden Mansion, and then I looked at Golden Mansion, I said, this has no, what? And he's like, oh, I got this penthouse duplex. There's a lot of money flying around. And look, let me tell you guys. You know them game shows where they put you in a tube and there's money and the money just flies around and you got to try to grab it? That's what I realized I'm in right now, because there's money going everywhere. And I haven't been grabbing none of the money. Other people have been grabbing the money in my tube. And I realize there's like stuff going on behind the scenes, I think. Because, look, Golden Mansion, their introductory price was really good. So maybe that's why people were hyping it up. But I feel like, this goes to the ethics thing, right? So me trying to enter this situation, you guys trust what I have to say, and that's important to me. So if a developer is giving me something, I think it's important to disclose that. But this is, the Wild West over here. So be skeptical of everything. I don't know, man. How do you go in that show house and be like, this is great, I'm buying? That's why I don't like properties with lots of amenities. Yeah, but I don't think the solution is don't do it. I think the solution is maintain the stuff properly. Yes, Ryan, there are firemen here and fire trucks also in Nairobi. I'm not saying there aren't. I don't know about that. I've never seen them. I hear them. Is there insurance if your property? There is insurance. You can definitely get insurance here. I have car insurance. You can get health insurance. There's all kinds of insurance. Yoga with Wendy. I am coming to you when I'm ready to buy my property in Nairobi. We're currently renting, but prettified to buy due to scam. Oh, petrified. Dang, I can't read. Okay, yeah, let me know. Hit me up, please. Please, because you just start talking to random people, it gets crazy. Bill, this is interesting because some of these Kenyan workers aren't the same. Yes, there's good workers for sure, yeah. And I got my place painted because that's another goofy thing about off-plan. Your paint is primer. It's not real paint. But I was petrified to hire a painter because I see how people paint. So I like talked to a bunch of people till I got a warm and fuzzy. But also, you have to be really stern with people here. If you're nice to them, they feel like you'll just accept anything. So I'm like, look, if it's messed up, I'm not paying until you fix it. Like, you got to tell people, yo, like, you got to look them in the eyes and be like, if it is bad, I'm not paying. I'm buying. Not paying. And for the person who asked about insurance, yes, and actually even AIG insures the oh. As a Kenyan who has dealt with fundis, I can relate to that story. Dude, put the other screw in. I believe Nairobi will go through a housing crisis. Their apartments are overpriced. Owners will never recoup their money when they want to sell. The work is too below standard. Most of the work of the new stuff is better than the older inventory. I hate when people say overpriced because if it was overpriced, no one would buy it. You may not see the value in it, but the general market does because the stuff is selling. And look, if the market was getting worse, look, I make money when people buy and sell in the U.S. We have an agency. The market is not that good. I tell people all the time. I probably, you know how many people I told that they want to sell their house and buy a new house? I run the numbers for them and I say, this is crazy. You should just stay where you're at. Unless you have like 2 more kids and you're cramped in the house. But doubling your payment and barely getting many more square feet is crazy. And getting a higher interest rate, it's a bad financial move. I tell people that all the time. I'm a defend wandering investor. He has been posting post-purchase reports of every buy he makes to show his profits. Let's see the Golden Mansion report in 2028. I'm not totally coming at him. What I'm saying is something's kind of fishy. Like, if you looked at the whole off market, I don't know how you land at that particular property at the prices that they were talking about when I was there. Maybe the price is higher. I don't know. Maybe he worked out a better deal. Like, did he tell us what he paid for it? Because if he paid $6 million for a penthouse duplex 2-bedroom, okay, I get it. Even if the quality is not that good, because it's in Lower Westlands, right? That's not bad. But unless it was around that price, I don't know. I don't like properties with 2 to 3 apartment complexes and lots of apartments like NYC. Yeah, I mean, that's pretty much what's going on here, though. In Mombasa, you can get a studio on the beach for 4.5, which I think is horrible because it's ruining the value of our land. How does it ruin the value? Also, the duplex units are extremely different than the showroom. Are they using different materials in the alley? What's the profit margin for developer selling these units? That's what I want to know. What's the cost of construction? I don't know. I wish you would just say what it is instead of well, get them super chats up, or eventually I'm going to announce it. We're going to do a launch. Nairobi has some of the best prices in the world right now. I've looked at several other countries to purchase soon, and nothing needs. Yeah, I agree. I think Nairobi's value is really high. Obviously, the country's great, the people are great, the amenities, the things you can do here, living in Nairobi, like it's for what you're getting and what you're paying is a super value. That's why I don't like the overpriced thing. Yeah, I agree with you. I agree with you. People are getting paid a lot to promote these properties. This is a big business, and I got to figure out how to navigate it properly, transparently. But guys, I'm collecting some bags. Okay, I'm gonna start collecting bags because when I seen some people, they was on vacation. They going to China. They was hiring more people. Where all that money come from? All the apartments I've lived in Nairobi, the bathrooms smell because they don't do I'm sure on older construction they don't use traps for the drain. There's a certain kind of trap. Is it a P or a D trap? The trap makes an air bubble at the drain so that the drain smell doesn't come back up. I've looked at some of the drains while it's under construction, and I've seen them without traps, and the trap stops the smell. He paid $175K for 3-bed penthouse, the one where they flew him to China. $175K is how many shillings? Because I actually only work in 175 USD to KES. When I'm here, I think in shillings for real estate prices, oddly enough. Why is it not just telling me up here? Oh my goodness. 171. 22.5 million. There's okay. How is he going to get return on investment on that? There's no way. How is that an investment? I can't even speak. I didn't even know. I thought he paid like a real low price. Golden Mansion's location is very tricky. They need to sell and sell fast, hence the price and urgency. I think the initial price was like serviceable, but when we were there, I didn't. This is Oscar, by the way. He's in the Golden Mansion video. He's in the Hefe Palace video. And Beacon. You guys should watch the Beacon video. Did that come out yet? I don't even know. But I really want to know what you guys think about Beacon. Very unique. Thank you, Oscar, for taking me out there. I was not aware of that developer. I was not aware of that development. And it changed my perspective on the building quality and capabilities of some of these developers, because it was excellent. They had real wood door frames and doors, and it was really well done. So there's definitely the skill in the market and workmanship. To Freedom's point, if he's still here, maybe they got to find the more expensive fundis / contractors to do the work, because those guys did good. Dolomite, compare the Kenyan market to Ethiopia, please. Cannot predict who will go. Yeah, so this happens to everyone. So even me, I bought a lot of my real estate before 2020. And so when I look at prices now, I'm getting old. You see, I'm getting gray. I'm like, that price is crazy. I would never pay that. That's what happens, because your mind, like if you lived in Nairobi or around Nairobi your whole life, the prices are astronomical compared to probably what they were 10, 15, 20 years ago. So I understand when people are like, what? This is a crazy price. Cost of construction is obviously very low. So, Kai has been trying to convince me, and other people have been talking to me about trying to build something. I really would love and dream to. I think we would start small and get maybe an acre and put maybe like 2-3 houses on it. We'd probably like do a show house and then do the other 2 off plan. I would want to fund the first house, and then we can do them off plan thereafter. I just think I want to learn a lot more about, I don't know anything about the construction. I've been reaching out to some companies that do good work, or at least online, it looks like they do good stuff, but then they don't love me. Like they don't want to, I wanted to go tour some of their stuff, ask them about construction, but they haven't been showing love yet. But okay. Anyway, I'm saying all that to just say the construction must be pretty affordable. But the Chinese have an advantage because they're able to bring in all their materials from China with all the connects in China, and probably are getting a little bit better pricing and such. What's the name of the development he bought? Golden Mansion. Developing is way cheaper than buying ready apartments. Price isn't the only cost. They're getting flued out. Yeah, they're getting flew. Somebody fly me out. Shoot. Honestly, that's why I haven't been to the coast. I'm like, I want to do the content, but the idea of packing my stuff and going over there, and then I'm just looking at properties, and then I got to figure out the right people to meet with, and then they trying to put their hands on my pockets, and and then there's a bunch of developers that are real thirsty that want to talk to me, but shoot, then fly me out then. Fly me out. Who knows if he even brought it? Well, I'd like to think that he did. I don't think he's like shady, but these are where like these gray areas of like YouTube content and business and the travel and all that stuff kind of gets murky. And that's what I'm trying to handle that the right way, because there is a lot of money flying around and a lot of opportunity. Because if you're promoting these developers, I mean, they're making hundreds of thousands, maybe millions of dollars. It's conceivable that they could give you a big bag to promote their stuff. And then no one's come to me and offer me a big bag. But I think about it like, how do I handle it as far as content? You know? I don't know. I don't know the answer to this question. I know that I would want to be transparent about it, but I think there's ways to do it without compromising the integrity of the channel. I don't know. But now you're saying exactly what I commented about: poor maintenance, poor staffing. Yeah, but the mistake that you made was that you were coming at me at the Amethyst video when they're one of the best at delivering on their promises, because you just wanted to attack me. According to him, a Nigerian beacon was lovely. Yeah, that was nice. I mean, very high price, but again, you do sort of get what you pay for sometimes. So I could see, I see why the price is how it is. Interesting topic. Could be the waste management at the various projects you see at some developments like our. Well, are we talking about the construction? It's not really that it's trash. It's just like when I first started flipping houses and we did some of the work ourselves, I wasn't aware of how important it is to keep a clean job site. But it becomes, it's a professionalism thing. So like if a contractor comes in and doesn't clean up, working in a messy workspace can cause safety issues. You could trip, you damage equipment, you can lose stuff, you could damage the flooring, all that kind of stuff. So, but waste management, actually, somebody can probably make a lot of money to do waste management business, as a side note. Finishing was superb. It really was. And guys, be careful looking at videos as far as finishing, because you'll never see from the video the same way it looks in person. Wandering investor did buy. He is also involved in a separate real estate ecosystem in Nairobi. Yes, he definitely is in a separate system. That is done in French. I was surprised. Yeah. He doesn't deal with Kenyans. We've spoken about it. Not enough push from clients and agents, so developers haven't provided solutions. Yeah, it hasn't become a big enough complaint. Like at my building, it's kind of like crazy. People just, but I feel bad for the workers, to be honest, because you just put your trash in like this concrete building off of the gate, and then they come and they grab it by hand, and it's all messy. Oh, it smells, it's bad. Instead of having a dumpster, if you ever come to the coast, hit me up. Send me the, you want me to help you sell your properties, why don't you pay for my accommodations? How about that? How much will it cost to manage an apartment per month if I buy one? Are you doing furnished or unfurnished? If you're doing furnished, I think the going rate is around 20%. If you're doing unfurnished, you shouldn't pay more than 10%, but honestly, like, you could do it yourself. There's nothing to it. You know what, like, if you're in a good development, you could talk to the housekeepers or like the building manager or whatever, and work out something where they maybe hold a key or something like that, and then you pay them a little bit, but you don't pay them. But you see, this is all the finesse you got to do. And someone that don't know anything is going to have trouble doing this. So if you're hiring a firm, 10% would make sense. That's what I was paying the guy for my unfurnished. It was 1 month's rent when they first got the tenant, and it was 10% of the rent thereafter. Guy was totally useless. The person ended up moving out. He couldn't get the place rented for like 2 months. As soon as I started engaging to get a renter, I got one right away. And he was like, maybe you need to lower the price, blah, blah, blah. As soon as I like, because I was like trying to let him just do his job. And then I was like, this is crazy. Let me just hop in and do it. Because I'm not from here. What should be in a lease? I went and figured everything out. I haven't had a problem since. Please build off-plan single-family houses. Yeah, I want to. Tagoni's too expensive. See, so for my first one, I think I would maybe do at the coast just because the acquisition cost is cheaper. And I'm sure we're going to make a bunch of mistakes. And if we broke even, I would be happy. It's a learning endeavor, but I think, especially because obviously we do content about it, if we can build to the standard I'd like to build, we could have a really good brand and reputation, and then build high quality single family homes, townhomes, duplexes, something like that. I was thinking about affordable housing, but the thing with affordable housing is you need to be really efficient. And I don't think I'd ever be able to be as efficient as someone that's from here and has lots of connections, or it would take me a long time. There's a monthly service charge you have to be as the owner, ranging from 7 to 12K. Wait, what are we talking about? Yeah, most places have service charges. Ryan, you need to sign an influencer agency to manage your deals and travel. Yeah. Y'all want me to help y'all make money. How about y'all send me some money first? Why the Chinese are more focused in Nairobi compared? Kenya is the best. It sounds crazy because I haven't been to a whole bunch of other countries in Africa, but when I talk to the Chinese, a couple of them have said what we can do here in Nairobi is impossible now in China because it's so competitive, it's so built up, their market has been slowing down, and the opportunities here in Nairobi are endless. Plus, Nairobi is a great city. Look, I know Kenyans, when you talk about the government, get kind of away, but Kenya has a great track record with their government compared to most of the rest of Africa. It's been business friendly. It's been more capitalist, that it doesn't have the communist influences that some of these other countries had. And the weather is mild and amazing and perfect most of the time. There's international business that comes here. It's the best. And because it's the best, more people keep coming. It's hot here at the coast. You don't need to buy anything from me. Yeah, but you want me to promote your stuff, right? When you send me and I'm not taking the train. I need a flight. When you buy real estate in Nairobi, you buy lifestyle, great food, great ambiance, good quality life. It's worth every penny. Exactly. When I spend money in Nairobi, I feel good. I feel like I'm getting value. When I go out to eat here, if I order food, good value, happy to spend it. Uber, happy to spend it. Plus, I'm tipping a lot. Thank you. Happy to do it. And so I did a lot of criticizing, but that's just because the nature of this. I want you guys to be aware of some things. But it's the best. It really is. Maybe he was gifted the. No, I don't know, man. I shouldn't have even said it like that. But in the back of my mind, I'm oversharing. To get fluid out, you need to show them. Man, I bring everything to the table. What you mean? I got receipts. What has happened? I'm on my cell phone internet. I depleted my whole bundle just now. Hold on, let me change my internet. I'm going to drop out for a second. Oh gosh, it's taking long. Sorry, guys. No, I don't want that one. I want this. Dang, I ate up my whole Safaricom. When the power went off, I went to my Kenyan line hotspot. I used all my data. See what I do for you guys? I cooked all my data for you. But MH, I bring a lot to the table. How many? Oh my goodness. I've been binging your videos today. You're being very transparent. Thank you. I try. It is getting a little more complicated, I must say. I've been utilizing the members only for the extra transparency. If we guess the big announcement, will you confirm? No. You're starting your own real estate. I mean, that would be the first guess that ever, it's, you know, but what is it going to really be? What are we going to be doing? Don't attack Ryan. He's doing, thanks, man. I appreciate it. And I like, you really do good comments that are very sophisticated points that are important to talk about. So I appreciate your input all the time. And if people have criticism, as long as it's fair, it's cool. Even if it's a little not fair. But some people just, you know. What up, Ryan in chat? Haley, what's going on? Members, lots of members. With the membership, I appreciate y'all. Y'all really, there's a lot of members now. I think we have over 50 members. So I appreciate you guys. You know, it's funny. It stresses me out. I'm like, am I giving the members enough value? Because especially when I'm not in country, there's not as much stuff I can do. But I appreciate you guys. And if anybody, you know, like, don't think you're obligated, you know, so we're still friends, you know, if I'm not, you know, I gotta make sure I keep that thing going. Hey, Ryan, dang, what they want, I don't know how he landed at Golden Mansion and then they're flying him out to China and stuff. Out of all the offerings in Westlands, that purchase doesn't make sense to me. And so smells a little funny. The Amethyst project was great, but we went with Luminar because of the double glazed windows. I gotta tell you, the developer for Luminar really cares about his designs. And I feel like, and look, he romanced me. But I feel like he will spend an extra couple dollars to make something better. Like we talked about the grout, and he's like, yeah, I'm going to use silicone grout. Because what I realized and he was like, because they're using sanded grout, which gets dirty easy. And I have a lot of respect for him because we've had a lot of conversations about that kind of stuff, and he does the extra things to make it better. And look, this is just from my conversation. You still have to see what the project looks like, but I really like it. Amethyst is also great. Like, yeah, Amethyst is great. Luminar is in Westlands for a little bit lower of a price. So, I mean, that's hard to beat. Diplomat still and Luminar are the top two if you're investing, to me, right now. Amethyst is a great project. Like, you can have a lot of confidence buying there that you're going to get something good. But when you look at the pricing ratio, the offerings, what we think it will rent for, the Diplomat is still strong. Luminar strong. And actually, I haven't put the video out yet. There's a place called Berkeley Residences in Kilauea. It's on Olotoktok Road. Unfortunately, a lot of it's sold out, but they had studios that were starting at 4 million, and that location's really good. I still need to do more background on the developer. They did Bahari Homes, or actually, he was part of the group that did Bahari Homes. So I had to. Now we got to figure out how involved they are. It's a lot of research for that kind of thing. But just from the offerings that they have, if you want to get in something really cheap, I don't think you could lose with a 4 million Kenyan shilling. That's like $35,000, 37, something like that. I mean, if you're going to take a risk. Now, I don't think their availability is that good. Actually, if you're looking to buy over there, hit me up because I have a good contact. But it's definitely interesting. Have you lived in Nairobi long, and have you bought your own place? I've bought my own place. I only live here quarterly. Every other quarter is kind of what I'm doing. My concern about Kiambu is crime. And we've been seeing a lot more crime. Like, I don't know if it's just on social media. They're talking about an uptick in crime. Again, back to knowing if things are true or not. Is it just become a trend that they're showing it more, or is it actually happening more? I don't know. How much would you be interacting in Kiambu, though? I kind of assume, like, if someone's going to live out there, they're still probably coming to Nairobi for most things. But, I don't know. I'll be there in a couple weeks and book with Dennis if I decide I want to start a build and want you to assist, but won't be ready for a few months. Should I consult while there? Of course. I meet with everybody. If you guys are here, I meet with everybody, and we have a good time. In my mind, I'm like, we'll hang out for like an hour or two. It'd be like the whole day at a restaurant or something. It's happened a couple times. So please hit me up. I love helping people. Also, I just love, like, I don't know. So, it's very rare people that come from a whole nother country to come here. And so we have like some kind of shared reason for being here and stuff. It's a really cool experience when I meet you guys. So definitely hit me up. Oh, here he goes. Don't get emotional. It is not about amethyst or whatever I was talking about. No, you commented on the amethyst video and you're like, you're not talking about the downsides. Well, it's the amethyst video, and it's one of the best delivering developers that I know of. What's up with this guy? Oscar from Elite Sanctuary Realtors Limited was a great agent to have during our short time in Kenya. He was knowledgeable. He was not pushy. That's important to me. Generous and flexible with his time. See? So MH, if you're still here, MH said he don't have personality in the video. But see? Knowledgeable, not pushy, generous and flexible with his time. When is that breakdown video of your tenant property in Lavington coming? I have to sit down and figure out when I have a year of data. I think I'll just do a year. I look back at previous developers and critically assess where developers are doing what they say already people are saying. Yeah, why don't you make those videos? Because again, I've done that. I don't work for you, bro. We need to smoke out bad actors exploiting Africans. Oh my God. Here we go. Why don't you watch the content and you decide? Do you have 40 units? What? But he has a couple of colleagues that are Chinese and invest with him. What are you talking? Wandering investor? Top viewer. Oh. The grout guys established 20. Yeah. You know what the developers tell me? They're like, oh, we're using bigger tiles so that we don't have as much grout. And I'm like, that's better, I guess. But why don't you just do the grout work well? Himalaya isn't that oppressive too. It's funny how he picks projects that agent. Oh, well, they're not Kenyan. They only deal with certain people. So, and Himalaya is not impressive. That's what I'm saying. Like, what? But I think the thing is, he doesn't care about quality. He's just looking at the spreadsheet. But also, I think something's weird's going on, to be honest. Wait, which one was 35? Berkeley Homes. Berkeley Residences. See, hit me up. I'll send you the info. And work out some pricing, although there's not that much there. Luminar versus, I don't even know if I should answer this guy, but Pandora is, they're not really comparable. They're doing different things. Luminar is a better investment for cash flow. Maybe Pandora, because maybe it's like a landmark property, the capital appreciation would be more, meaning that like the value of your unit goes up. But it hasn't been exactly confirmed, but I don't believe they're allowing Airbnb there. How are they going to enforce that? I'm not sure, but that kind of knocks down the gross rent that you can get there. And Luminar is literally made for investment. The way the pricing, the amenities, the way it's laid out, the whole thing is going to be good for rentals. So definitely Luminar for investment, but Pandora, I would live at Pandora. I keep saying that if things worked out, which they probably won't, to be honest, I would sell this place and get a 3-bed at Pandora if I was in the situation to do that. Kiambu is great for agriculture. Yes, very good. It's very green there. Can you check out Maisha development in Talisi? Them smart home places, them smart cities try to control a lot of their media. I haven't really spoken to them, so maybe they're open to it, but trying to deal with them people over there is, I got to cover all the ground here first, but maybe. I'd love to see that. He's got integrity for the office. Sorry. Are you starting your own real estate? Maybe. We got to clear up some of these hazards that are out here for you guys. Why is this Nigerian dude bullying you? I don't know what his problem is. Can they able to complete Luminar? It sounds too good to be true. They poured the foundation, the bottom. I see their updates every day. I mean, I can never answer these questions because, again, developer worked with Wonder Properties. Now he's going on his own. I like him. You know what it is, guys. Okay, so let me give you some insider stuff. And this is where the red flags come in. Some of the developers don't want me to come. Other developers ask me to come. What does that tell you? Because even though I only lightly criticize and I try to keep things in context, but if I don't think it's good, I do say I don't think it's good, especially in the newer videos with the should you buy videos that are in members only. If you're like really thinking of buying something, you should watch that video, because I try to give you the pros and the cons from different perspectives. But there's some developers that don't, like, I get it. Some have a media policy where they just want to control everything. That's whack. I still don't like that, but okay. But others, I think, are concerned about what I may say about them. And guys, this ain't the freedom of speech and all that stuff. Like, you can't just go up and be saying anything about anybody over here when you're at their stuff. So normally, there's certain projects I just don't look at. But again, like Tattoo City, like they don't let me do nothing. Verona, I do the video, they want me to take it down. And we liked it. It's crazy. So I'll let you guys decide what that means, but there's a lot of politics that goes on behind all this stuff. That's why I'm like, that looks funny. I won't have time to invest in Nairobi till late 2026. Is it too late for me in all the early? There's my perspective here. We have to be responsible. Okay. Honestly, getting in the projects as early as possible is really the best thing, because you're getting the best pricing and the best access to the units. With that being said, if it's your first time, I don't want people to rush. But what you do need to do is know exactly what you want. And when you locate what you want, then you have to buy it. So you have to be efficient. Is it too late because late 2026? I don't think so. I think that 2027 and definitely 2028, because the election is coming up, from what everyone tells me, things slow way down, business slows, real estate, people get scared to buy. Depending on the level of disruption, I think the market could definitely slide and slow down. So that could be a good time to buy. But then we have 2028, when a lot of projects, at least in Westlands, are being completed. Thousands of units are coming onto the market. And I could see a situation where definitely Airbnb prices may not hit what they're projected when they initially thought they were going to buy those. There is going to be heavy competition. I think it's much safer on the unfurnished. The thing is, Westlands is more catered to Airbnb, where it's probably more successful to do Airbnb in Westlands. This is just my thoughts. I could be totally way off base. This is just the narrative in my brain and from my perspective, and it comes from talking to a million people that have, been doing real estate here way longer than me. So in summary, it's not too late, but if you end up buying into the slower part of the market, maybe it doesn't look as good as it does today with purchasing. Because, okay, I'm going to release the Ivy Park video, which is actually a development right next to here. It's in Kilimani. Their prices are high, not as high as Amethyst, but surprisingly high. And every time I see a new project, I think their prices are high because they're higher than what it was 2 years ago and even a year ago. So as time goes by right now, the prices are really going up kind of significantly. With that being said, there's a lot of inventory coming in. So is this just going to keep? I don't understand it, because how can it keep going up with such a big amount of units coming on? But if you look at the population growth, and then you look at how many like foreigners and other people are coming and international business is coming, it could stay sustainable for longer than we think. I would love, see, guys, I'm not a super data analyst guy, but I think this is where we would need some smart data analysts to like, how many people are going to need apartments in Westlands? And who are they and how much money do they have? Like, that's the type of research that really needs to be done to answer this question and to be able to project. Haas Consult has a report that they do, but I think the report also needs to factor in population, the middle class in Kenya, how many foreigners are coming in, the international businesses coming in. It's very complex. And this is the one. So I always equate Nairobi to New York City. So if you look at like how New York City developed, and, you know, it just expands from the center, some of those concepts and some of the things that have happened with New York real estate, where, you know, Westlands is like Manhattan, right? So it's the most prime real estate. And then you have further out and et cetera, et cetera. I think those things are good to equate, but what's different is the rapid growth of Kenyan's population, and people are waking up. People are coming to Kenya. And if they keep staying business friendly, whew, there's a lot of money coming. Well, let me see what Dr. Deca said. $20 super chat. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. You're always, thank you. Thank you. I really do appreciate it. So now we're at $50. I don't know how much longer I'm staying on. We need 150. I'll do the whole announcement. I'll show you a website that I built by my own bare hands that I think is pretty good. It's actually not done. See, I'll even show you the website that's not finished. It's active, but it's not finished. And I'll give you the vision. I'll tell you everything that we're doing, okay? Because yes, I'm sure you can assume the type of business that we're doing, but I'll give you the vision and my hopes. I'm really nervous because I know if one thing doesn't go to someone's expectation, I'm getting bullied by the Nigerian guy and I didn't even do nothing, you know? So I can only imagine if we don't meet a really high standard of excellence and service, which this is my first time in another country trying to have employees and operate a business. I obviously have done in the US, but it's a whole different. This is why they say, oh, just go to Kenya and start a business. Okay, there's a million things that you got to think about. Yeah, man, I'm getting bullied. Like, what's up? Why is he bullying me? And see, in my old, I used to, you know, as a light-skinned gentleman, I used to be real light-skinned, but now I used to be real petty, but now I've stopped. I don't. especially online. I ain't fighting with nobody. Love your work, Ryan. You were in the military. Surely you can cope with a little. Yeah, but your criticism is unfounded. I can definitely cope with it. I just, I don't understand. You're not, yeah, but your questions are leading. What's your take on Marble West and Mont Bleu? Um, I don't like the location of Marble West. I thought Marina Bay's quality was pretty good, which is one of their past projects. Dang, I can't remember the guy's name. He says that the maintenance there didn't look good. I haven't been there in a while, so I don't know. I'm not sure. I can't recall the pricing of Marble West off the top of my head, so I can't say for sure. But I think Luminara is more affordable, and I just like that project, to be honest. It's a similar location, so it's still lower Westlands. I like that better. I like the Diplomat better. I love Hefe Palace's location as well as the Diplomat, but Hefe Palace, the price, and it's also a developer without a track record in Kenya. Mont Bleu, I don't know a lot about Mont Bleu or where it is. I think I've driven past it, but I can't even speak to it. Transparency is key. You are super aggressive in your questions and your questioning about the Kenya market. Probably should be making video. No, you could ask me about the market, but you're like, why aren't you saying bad things? Like, what? I'm okay, but it's like it's coming from a really bad place. It feels like that's what the like you're making assumptions that aren't true because you haven't watched other videos. I've been interested in the Diplomat, but one thing I'm worried about is precisely that aspect of a lot of inventory coming in 2028. Do you think it could work for a long-term rental strategy? It depends what units you're buying. I don't think the 48 square meters, the 42 square meters, the mini one bedroom, the studio. The mini one bedroom is really a studio, by the way. Um, those probably aren't so good. I think if you want like a long-term strategy, I actually think a smart person, see, it might not be worth it to do with one unit, but I would try to go to the businesses like Microsoft and Oracle and even the UN and all them. I don't know how you would get in contact with them. I'm sure you can, and try to get your property on a list for them to rent it long term. That would be a good idea. But for that, then you want a 2 bedroom because these people might have family or want more space. They're staying long term. The one beds and the studios and all that, Airbnb, man. Yes, there's 800 plus units there. Competitive, yes. I have the top floor on the street view for the units that I have. So, oh, what? I said that. I'm sorry. No, I'm just kidding, guys. But that I do think that makes a difference. Um, they sold a lot. This is what I've been noticing too. They sold a lot in the beginning, and this happens to most. They sold all the street view, and they've sold a lot of studios and stuff. But actually, on the backside, there's a lot of availability. So the best units are get purchased, and if you have like middle type units, maybe it is a problem. I don't know, but the problem is, what would you buy other than the Diplomat? The Diplomat's the best. Now, if you can't find the right unit there, then but I just looked at the availability sheet. There's still viable units. If I was buying, I would first look at block B, which is facing A on the courtyard side. There's availability there, not that much, but that's the safest one to purchase right now. And then Block B facing opposite of Paponi Road, away from the main road. There's a lot of availability. I think maybe people think that's going to get developed. Have you heard of Morvara? No, I don't know that one. Sorry. I do try to write them down and check. But I'm so behind on videos. There's like 3 more. I'm actually, tomorrow, guys, I'm going to Kajiado County with Kia from Traverse Culture. She is looking at land for a medical retreat type thing, and it's in partnership with some company. I kind of forget some of the details, but I don't know if I'm doing content, but I'm just going to see what's going on. But she has a pretty cool idea about that with the medical tourism. Maybe they're like doing a campus or something. I don't have all the details, but pretty cool. You need a GoFundMe? Yeah, I need, honestly, I want to go to Kisumu and I want to do stuff at the coast. I need a GoFundMe for that. I sound like one of them passport bros asking for money to do stuff, but if y'all want to see content at the coast, I need some motivation. Somebody got to send me a bag, because otherwise I'm gonna just stay here. And now eventually I'll go on my own dime, but when I feel like it. I hate traveling. Hi Ryan, I got an offer letter from Hefe. What's no? See, FKC legal, because caveat is one thing that is not a U.S. legal thing. Oh, I'm trying to remember. I asked the same question. Don't quote me. My memory. It has something to do with title or something. I think. I've literally asked this question. Dang, I have not retained the knowledge. Here's an idea for a video, Ryan. A review of all the taxes, costs, etc. for running an Airbnb. Yeah, I would need I'll do that when I rent my Airbnb. I would do all that. Problem with taxes is that they keep changing the law and the enforcement of the law like every day. Oh, legal announcement. The Class G, and guys, I'm just repeating things that I've been told from mostly Franklin and FKC and Abdi. The Class G investor residency and work permit, you need to have $100,000 invested and pay, I think it was $250,000 a year or every 2 years for the residency. The $100,000 US, and it's 250,000 Kenyan shillings as a fee, but then you need to invest 100,000. They've changed how they're viewing that, and now you need 100,000 liquid. And there are people that are caught in the middle of that change where they had applied for it when they were viewing it as, like for me, for example, I've spent more than $100,000 here and own more than 100,000 US dollars worth of property. I would no longer be approved for the Class G residency and work permit because they want to see 100,000 US dollars in a Kenyan bank account. And I know that there's clients that are there's rejections happening, and there's some fights about when they applied and stuff like that. So I just wanted to make you guys aware of that. It's kind of causing a lot of problems for a lot of people. I rented my Westlands apartment very quickly in 2025, but I'm worried if all these properties get completed, it could be vacant. I think it's a legitimate concern, but we just have to see. I don't know. I really don't know. Generally, things don't happen that dramatically. Like, oh, everything's empty. I don't think that, I rarely think the extreme situation will happen. Well, also, I meant to say this earlier. If you're owning these properties outright, lower the price. You don't have a mortgage, so yes, your return on investment's lower, but I mean, no one's making you keep the price that high. Just lower it till you rent it. Not ideal, right? This is why I don't like the number projections. You guys know I don't like it because this emerging markets are different. Like it changes. They're changing the laws. They're changing the rules. They're building a whole bunch of stuff. There's an influx of currency valuation could change. There's a lot of things that can happen. Honestly, I'm not worried about it that much. But again, I'm not worried because I'll just lower my price. Okay, whatever. Like I don't think you're. Trust me, you lower the price enough, people are going to want it. What was your experience with developers? Are they willing to make amendments to the purchase agreement, pay per net square meters and penalties? Yes, you can get a lot. You can work a lot of those things into contracts. The net square meters thing is a problem. There's lots of. This is why. First of all, when they market, they're marketing gross square meters most of the time. Because now if you market your net square meters, you look worse than everyone else. So now it's a trend. Everyone's on gross square meters. Then we've had people calculate the square meters and it's not that accurate. I think that's a battle that's going to be tough for you to win, but you can fight for that to be in there, yeah. I don't think they'll price it pay per net square meter, but you can get the layout and the square meters listed as part of your contract and then make it enforceable that it needs to be that. You can negotiate that. I'm a little over my skis because I'm talking about legal. But that's the best understanding that I have, and I've seen this done. I've negotiated things before we were working with the law firm. I've had some basic recommendations for people because one thing on a contract, you sound like you're familiar with some of these contracts. They give themselves many outs for the completion date because it will say and or when they get the occupancy certificate, which could be much late delayed, and then the clock doesn't even start. I think you should always try to take that out. And there's some other best practices that we talk about, definitely listing the square meters and the layout. And if you can, like the render of materials, all those things are good to get in there. Hopefully that's helpful. Every developer is different, but they are flexible to some degree. The purchaser agrees not to register a caveat or caution against the property's title. Oh, I can't answer the question accurately, so I don't want to mislead you, but You saying that makes me think it's like a cloud on a title, but I don't know how they do it. It's like a claim against your title, but I don't know enough about it. See, a lot of Kenyan law is very similar to British common law, which is similar to is the foundation for US law, but that particular item, I think they have something like that in the UK, but we don't have that word that I'm familiar with. FKC legal will be in Kenya May 2026. So all these calling me a scammer. See, you're walling, bro. See, look, you're threatening people. See, now you're being emotional. Why are you being emotional, bro? Yeah, he's not gonna fly me out. He just want me to make him money. Can you say something on how the payments for the properties are being made? The foreign investor. Oh my goodness, the banking and wiring situation. I did a consultation with someone from Sweden, and he was like, the EU rules have Kenyan banks banned. And I was talking to Franklin about this because he was telling me he was having problems with some people in Canada. Their banks aren't wiring money to Kenya either. Let me take some credit because I came up with this. Not kind of. Some of the developers have offshore bank accounts. Like some developers have a UK bank account because the UK is not part of the EU. So sorry guys. The UK is not part of the EU. So Standard Chartered is a British bank. So British banks, there are British banks that can wire to Kenya, and also some developers have a British bank account, or maybe they have one in Mauritius. Now it's getting shady. Now we're sending to offshore bank accounts. I mean, the British one's not bad because they got pretty good regulations there. So you got to talk to the developer about if they have a different bank that you can wire to. Because if you're in Canada, it's a problem. If you're in the EU, it's a problem. Actually, I should talk to. I know some EU people who have bought before. You guys got to remind me. I'm going to ask him how he sent money because he's in the EU, and people are buying. I'm not sure because I'm in the U.S. I send from Chase Bank, and it's no problem. They just call you 6 months later, like, "Hey, you sent a wire. Why? You sent a wire to Kenya? What? 6 months ago? Why are you even asking me this?" I see why cryptocurrency is getting popular. I really didn't know banking can be intrusive, but they get crazy with it when you try to wire money. But yeah, that's the if you're in the EU or somewhere that won't send to China, I've sent to Kenya, look if they have another if they have an EU bank or something. If you're I don't use Chase, but I use Chase for international wire. So I don't bank with Chase, but I have a Chase bank account where I have to transfer my money to Chase, and then from Chase I'll do the wire, which I guess looks suspicious, but it's my money, and I do what I want for now till they ban me. Martin says you use Wise, but do they kill you on the exchange rate? And how do you send so much money? How do you send the 20% deposit? Thanks, Martin. I was about to text you. I didn't know you were still on here. 3 hour, 4 hours almost. Uh, what's your take on Aura is done by Haas and they don't talk to me. Tina, $20 super chat. Thank you so much. It's getting interesting. I don't know how, I feel like I'm being boring today. I feel like I'm all over the place, but I appreciate it. Thank you. So we got Tina at 20, Decca at 20. Wow. ALX at 20, 246 KII_J. $10. What? Wait, hold on. I'm tired, guys. 2, 4, 6, $70. We're almost there to the announcement. We need 150. I'll walk you guys through the whole business. But I'm tired. See, I need energy. I don't know. We'll see. Yeah, that's true. Since I'm not paying a mortgage, I will lower the price. I will be collecting 2.5 years rent, and then I'll lower the price. I may collect half of the money I invested. What? What do you mean you'll collect 2.5 years of rent? What are some of the challenges you got with other lawyers? Oh my gosh. Professionalism, response time, knowledge. They don't even know what they're talking about. They tell me things that are clearly wrong. One lawyer that works for the developer, actually, I don't know how they work for this developer, was like, oh, my computer's broken. I have to use my friend's. I'm going to send you a message from my friend's computer. Like, your dog ate your homework? Like, you're not, like, why are you telling me this? And why are you having these problems? Like, just because they're a lawyer doesn't mean anything, is basically what I'm getting at. And I've met with bunches of them. I've tried to, and then they'll price gouge you too. They'll tell you they're going to do something and not do it. Like, don't trust them. Obviously, there's good lawyers, but if you just pull a lawyer out of the hat, there's a 60% chance it's going to go bad for you. And you want, like, if you're not doing your own research, see, I check everything. I research everything. So when they tell me something, I'm like, I research, I ask 2 other lawyers. So I have an account with a wealth management firm that has lawyers, and I ask them. I'm like, is that right? They're like, no. Well, done with that. So that's probably the best thing I've done being here is I talk to everybody and I maintain some communications with all kinds of different people, professionals, and I ask them all the same question, and then I smash all the answers together and figure out what makes sense. And when people say things that don't make sense, I'm like, I don't think they know what they're talking about. Again, in the West, you could normally trust that the lawyer at least knew a little something. Kenya, I don't know. It's the Wild West. What things to consider when I sign offer letter to buy apartment? The offer letter is not that crazy. It's the contract that you really need to be concerned with. The completion date, penalties or enforcements on delays. You want the layout in there, the square meters. What are some other? I don't like that force majeure clause. Sometimes you got to look at it. Basically, it's like acts of God, but sometimes it's so vague it could apply to anything. It'll say like currency fluctuations. What does that mean? How is that defined? I don't like that. Again, this is stuff that FKC legal or any lawyer that's good can help you with. What are some other? What are some other issues on contracts that commonly come up? The amenities. You want it to be articulated what the service charge exactly is paying for, because they could turn around and try to charge extra for certain use of amenities, and I've had a fight about that. Luckily, the contract was in my favor. I am from the EU. I use Wise. I can recommend Wise or TapTap. That sounds expensive. They don't want the money leaving the West. No, they don't. And yeah, that banking discrimination against Africa is crazy. Like, I have to use a VPN to even log into my bank account when I'm here. I paid 8.5 million Kenyan shillings in Westlands in 2023, and property was completed at the end of 2025. It took forever. How big and stuff? Because that's a really good price. If it's a 2-bed, a 1-bed is still pretty good at 8.5. Have been using Wise and Revolt, even for 20% deposit, faster, 1 hour, and the cash is credited in Kenya. Are they giving you the proper exchange rate, 129 or 130? I imagine you can lose a lot of money that way. Wise is good direct from UK bank. Oh, The exchange rate on Wise is pretty good. They sometimes need more documents and a few business days. Oh, okay. See, look at that. The community answers the questions. But when you say pretty good, are you getting the true exchange rate, or are you getting like 124? The caveat means that you as a buyer agree to not take any action against the property's land title in the event of a dispute. Oh, I don't know if that's verified, but now that I have Kenyan bank account, I use TapTap Send a lot. It's no fees to send to a Kenyan. Yeah, once you have a Kenyan bank account, then you can send the money there, then you're good. But opening a Kenyan bank account, FKC legal, or somebody's gonna have, like, you can't just go in the bank and open an account. Why does her thing say member for 4 months? That's cool. Thanks, Tina. Exactly. Is Wise better? I'm using Remitly when I want to load some of my M-Pesa sometimes, but they give me 124 instead of 129, so I'm losing money. So when you send a lot, you could lose like hundreds or even a couple thousand. There's some good competition and the best exchange. Oh, yeah. I'm not sending no money at 124. I'm not sending 20%. I'm losing too much. Another thing to watch out for is developer offering no warranty on any fixtures and fittings. I've seen this insist on the, yeah, you need at least 6 months. That's crazy. I haven't seen it not have 6 months. You definitely need that. And it should be from 6 months from handover, not completion. I've got 128. Oh, that's good. Wise is 129. Oh, okay. That's good. Oh, okay. That's good. That's good. Wow. Thanks for all the super chats, guys. I really appreciate it. So cool. Thank you guys so much. It's been really fun. I got tired all of a sudden. I'm old. I got to get up early too. How's Leo apartment so far, and are you intending to sell it? I don't really have a reason to sell it. It's been renting at 65,000. No issues from the tenant since I had the issues with the property manager and the first person moving out. All's been well. Renting 65,000. I think the service charge is what's the service charge over there? 4? I think it's 4,000, maybe 5. And yeah, just making money. Not a lot, but just doing his thing. In the owners group, they complain about a whole bunch of things, the maintenance, and I probably should be more bothered by it, but it's just doing what it does. Some people pay off just to get a certificate or degree. I guess. I don't know. It's a crazy thing with the lawyers. But I appreciate all of you guys. Oh, man, the mic's about to die. It's been fun. Hopefully we covered some of the red flags. I think I talked about enough stuff to have covered the topic. Talked about a lot of other stuff. Ivy Park videos coming out. Be on the lookout for more teasers for what I'm about to launch. I appreciate everybody for supporting. Obviously, it's going to be a business that I want to make sure that we're delivering. I'm real nervous. I'm doing my best to get it done. I'm sure we won't be perfect, but I'm trying to solve a problem in the market. And, you know, I've seen a lot of pitfalls, and we want to help people avoid that. So that's where I'm coming from with that. The content's, I guess the amount of content has been okay. I have a lot more, but I haven't trusted an editor to edit my stuff yet. So I've been interviewing employees, been working on a lot of stuff in the background, plus still doing site visits, meeting with developers. I'm trying to keep the content consistent, but it's been tough. If you guys want to support the Coast Tour or the Tour to Kisumu, feel free to do a super sticker, super chat, whatever. If anybody's trying to sell some stuff, break bread. Stop trying to get money off of me and don't offer me nothing. So if y'all want me to come to the coast, if that one guy, the Pingo guy, is still here, I'm open. I'll send you my M-Pesa. Send me the plane ticket money. Thank you. I'm kind of kidding, but no, not actually. I'm not. But yeah, guys, it's been fun. It's been real. Sorry I haven't been on. I'm gonna try to be on next week. I'll probably have FKC Legal on here answering questions. I won't like keep it only to FKC. I think we'll still do like a hangout. You know how we do it. A little less. Sometimes when they're on, you know, it's a little dry. We'll keep it more fun. And that's all I got. Tina's looking forward to it. Thank you, Tina. I appreciate the support. When are you coming out here? Anyway, let me know. Appreciate you guys. The no announcement because we didn't make the money. We didn't make it. We didn't get to 150. We almost got there. But, curious about the medical tourism info. I'll try to remember. I just wanted to go see some stuff outside of Nairobi. So I got invited out there. I did the Kia does the conversations and culture. So I did that the other day, you know, where she drives around. I showed off my place and stuff. If you follow me, you probably follow her. So it's probably not that, you know, it's a rehash of some. No, I said some real stuff in the interview. But check that out when it comes out. I'll repost it. I can't say soon though. Oh, dang. You're tired because you've been talking for 4 hours. Yeah, it gets tiring. And it's late. I'm old. It's 11 p.m. over here. But it was good to see you guys. You guys gave me life, especially the super chatters. Even the one guy halfway trying to bully me, you know, it's okay. I hope this remained transparent and helpful for everybody. But to be transparent, I'm about to collect some bags. I'm about to overcharge for what they did to the Cold Crush. They ate my lunch. I'm about to eat some of their lunch. Thank you, Ryan. Always good to listen in. Whatever. Yo. So I don't want to give his business, but she has had a journalist that worked with her, but then I think she changed her content plan and it just never came out. So I don't know what they did. Like, I actually just asked about it recently, but the guy that was working there doesn't work there anymore. And I assume that because they changed, you know, she went out, she's doing the holistic thing with the land and everything, which I'm interested in as well. I don't know if it fit their new content plan. So I think that's what happened. Dang, Oscar's still on here. Keep up the good work. Thank you. Oscar's like, dang, Ryan being messy today. They say pay 20% when I sign the offer letter after that contract. No, no, no. You should do the small deposit. You shouldn't do the 20% until you have the agreement of sale. Offer letter is the summary, and then you should get a contract that has everything. You shouldn't be paying 20% before you have the contract. Don't worry, they don't chase you for money. Like when them payments are due, they never bother me about it. All right, guys, I really am going. I'm tired. I'm gonna drink some water. Good night. Oh, hit me up if you guys have questions. You can hit me up now. Oh wow, £5 from the Igbo Renaissance. Kenyan government needs to learn from Dubai and stop taxing foreign investment to death. So here's a super chat so you don't keep crying. Thank you. That is a thing. African countries have kind of high taxes that make it a bit challenging. That is true. I gotta, why is that? But also, do they really collect the taxes that are on the books? That's the other problem. I know Kenya's cracking down on that. They're doing all this digital stuff to really know what people's expenses are. Thank you for the great chat. Look forward to seeing you in Kenya. Yeah, please message me and let me know, and we'll link up. I love meeting everybody. It's always fun. You know, sit outside, have some dawa, have some good food. Can't beat it. Joan, thank you. Thank you. All right, geez, I keep saying bye. I feel like my mom when I was a kid, and she would just I'd want to leave, and she'd just keep talking to people. Oh my goodness. All right, guys, see you later. Sorry. Good night. Hopefully provided value. Want to keep doing good things. See you guys later.